The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Work Hard Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, and Hard Knocks is tonight. Football is here.
Here we go, atta baby.
That's right. The NFL season has survived another off season. It feels like when Hard Knocks gets going, we are on the precipice of football happening. And there's a lot of news around the football landscape we will talk about, not just with the NFL, but with college football and how we'll be able to view them. What games will we potentially have for the McAfee cast, the 6 of them that we are partnering with Omaha Productions to be on ESPN2 with Big Ten fans. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. It sounds like not happy about it, but we got a lot to chat about. We'll have Charania join us here in about 17 minutes, and although Hard Knocks is starting tonight and the preseason actually kicks off on Thursdays, and there'll be games every single day going forward, and do the games matter? No, but it is a little bit of a taste of what we're potentially going to get. Deshaun Watson will allegedly be playing a couple series for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Let's assume there'll be no conversation about
no one's
that.
going to talk about it.
That's going to be happening. There's a lot of that, but the basketball world is cooking strictly because Kevin Durant is a fucking G.
Hell yeah.
So we will talk to Charania about what's going on in that particular situation with the Brooklyn Nets, which allegedly a conversation had taken place where there was, hey, it's either me or this coach and GM. Mm-hmm. And the owner, I guess, came out and said, well, I'm going with coach and GM, so sorry about it. I'm moving on. So Kevin Durant's potentially on the move. What's that mean for everybody else? What's the NBA landscape? The guy who's inside of the association, Charania, will join us in about 15 minutes. Then quarterback of the Houston Texans, Davis Dougie Mills.
Let's go.
He'll join us in the second hour, and then there's a couple requests out via text messages for the third hour. That could be great conversations, maybe. We'll see how the schedule fits in. AJ Hawk will join us in about 55 minutes. We've got a great Tuesday here.
Oh, yeah.
Take some phone calls, although we didn't take that many yesterday on the 500 phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. The Talks Table's here looking fantastic. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Ty, got the Hawkeyes hoodie on. Is that because the Big Ten just signed a fucking massive deal with CBS, NBC, and Fox?
Right.
The only place they will not have any games, it sounds like, is ESPN, where we will be able to be, which is a bummer. But congrats to the Hawkeyes and the Big Ten for getting a monster deal across all networks. It's only good for the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, absolutely huge. I mean, it is an absolute kick in the sack knowing that we're about to do this in the fall, and now there's no way we're going to get any Big Ten games.
No way!
Not a chance. And part of me and all the Big Ten maniacs out there, brother, they'll feel the same way. When I turn on a game at noon this year and I don't get to hear Dan Orlovsky and Beth Mullins on the call for Northwestern Illinois or Indiana Rutgers or whatever the case may be, it's going to break my heart. That being said, I'm actually kind of jacked up that we are moving in a different direction here, because ever since I moved from Iowa, I'm not always getting to watch an Iowa football game. I got to watch a lot of Indiana games, a lot of Purdue games, not great. So, hey, going to Apple, going to Amazon, going to any other network, we'll see. I mean, it's only good for the Big Ten, and we talked about it a little bit. I mean, I think a massive part of this is obviously USC and UCLA coming into the fold, but good time to be a Big Ten fan unless you're doing a McAfee cast on ESPN2 this fall.
Yeah, then not great time.
And not so much.
That's basically just going to be the SEC and the ACC there.
Yeah.
The Big Ten has signed deals with networks that had the SEC. So CBS had the SEC deal, basically.
Yes.
CBS was paying $55 million a year for the SEC package for like a 10-year deal or whatever. That has ended. It's come up. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now ESPN is paying $300 million, okay, for the SEC package. And I assume when that was negotiated, CBS executives said, ESPN's fucking paying so much.
Wild.
They're at it. They're $55 million is what we paid them last year. Now they're offering $300 million for the SEC. Oh, they grow. If that's what the CBS people were telling Greg Sankey in the SEC, if you can get $300 million a year from ESPN or anywhere else, God bless you. Okay, fucking good luck out there if that's what you're going to get. Now it turns out that CBS is paying $350 million for the Big Ten, which is wild. Now you would have to think this goes with Paramount Plus. Right, Paramount Plus will have a bunch of the games, I'd assume. You'd have to assume the streaming deal is incorporated in that because I guess the SEC and maybe some other Big Ten potentially was thinking about getting the streaming deal. If CBS is paying $350 million for the Big Ten, I'd assume it's going to be on Paramount Plus as well. So every game should be available, which is good.
Right.
But that deal that CBS thought ESPN was probably paying too much for, because why wouldn't you? If you're CBS, you had SEC for so long, it's kind of become a staple, a tradition, a institution almost. You watch, what's his name? Dick? No.
Vern Lundquist.
Vern Lundquist? Yeah, there it is. So sorry, Vern.
Danielson.
You did not deserve that. And I apologize that is how I associated your name. But you watch them. That's just kind of a staple of SEC football. Here it goes. Been through so many eras on CBS. So you would assume that the only reason why they didn't sign on for longer and let ESPN win the bid at $300 million is because they thought that was outrageous. What has changed that now they're at $350 million for the Big Ten? Maybe it's they realize that content is king and like we need something if we're not going to have this, and they're looking around at the landscape and they're thinking Amazon's going to get involved, Apple's going to get involved. $350 million, that is literally nothing to these companies if they really want to make a play.
Right.
So maybe this is a last-ditch effort for CBS to keep football, but if you're a Big Ten fan, I think it's a great move. I think it's a great move. And for the CBS executives, they get to walk on that USC field. You know, USC.
Coliseum, baby.
They get to walk right onto the field at the Coliseum, shake hands with Will Ferrell and Lincoln Riley.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, they get to go at the UCLA practice. Oh, they get to go and check out the UCLA facilities, which
That's
everybody
right.
trains there, super nice. CBS executives get to do that. You can assume that also played a role maybe in it a little bit, but a lot of money being thrown around right now for college football, for football in general, and it's a great day to be a fan of the sport. Connor, I know you're not that big of a college football fan,
No,
right?
not at all. Not even a little. Probably since Matt Ryan was actually playing at BC was the last time I rooted for a team in college.
And this is strictly because you are a tribal-based rooter and bettor as well.
Yeah.
You're only betting on things that you are fans of.
Yeah, exactly. And also it has to do with the fact that, all four teams in Boston have won championships in the last, 10 years.
You're a
So-
professional sports town.
Exactly. It's a professional sports town. It's a title town. It really isn't a national title town.
Yeah, BC's kind of stunk. Even though
Yeah.
Anthony Costanzo came out of
Yes,
there.
he did.
Matt Hasselbeck came out of there. Obviously, Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly.
AJ Dillon.
I was about to say, I thought AJ
Yeah.
Dillon Sauce was from there.
Zion Johnson was a first-round pick to
he
the
was.
Chargers. He's from BC. They still have studs.
Yeah, but if you don't have a great team, it's going to be tough to compete with fucking
Joe
New England Patriots.
Tessitore's son.
Yeah. No one gives a shit.
You're right.
Stud.
Stud.
Long
If I'm
snapping.
not
God.
He was a
No,
kick
there's
punter.
kicker.
He was a punter.
Punter,
Punter.
yeah.
Back this year
He
is
was a
from-
I thought he was a holder.
stud, that guy.
He was a holder.
He was a punter, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's a kicker.
I'm pretty sure he's a kicker.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Really?
I think he was a great kicker, too. He was yoked up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Don't be.
sweet.
But obviously.
Doug Flutie's son, he's on the team too.
Well, Doug Flutie
Doug
also.
Flutie.
Doug Flutie.
Also Boston College.
Herzlich.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Herzlich.
Sure.
No, their
Matthias
starting quarterback
Kiwanuka.
for this season is from Pittsburgh, so
Who?
respect him.
Boston College's
Yeah,
quarterback?
Phil Jerkovich. He's pretty good.
Oh, fucking Jerkovich out of
Jerkovich,
Pittsburgh. That
yeah.
guy's going to go ahead and tear it up for the Eagles.
They might be back. Holy shit.
You know, they got Alumni Field up there. That's
Yeah.
where the Boston
Oh,
College
yeah.
Eagles play on.
I know. I've been there before.
And we were just paying tribute to all of them right there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shout out to Tessitore's kid.
Shout out. They got to fix the rules up there. They're not really letting tailgating happen in the tailgate spot at BC anymore.
What do you mean, no booze?
Yeah, it feels
No
like they're-
booze in a
What?
lot?
It feels like they're gone soft up there.
Oh, no.
Hey, everyone's just smoking legal dope now. No one cares about drinking and going to the game.
So they said, nobody aside from our students that are currently on campus come to these games.
Boom.
Let's make it even worse for people's
Yes,
experience. Why are they
exactly.
doing that for?
I don't know. It's kind of bullshit. It's probably because it's a hockey town now, especially BC, BU. Those
Oh,
colleges
yeah, they're in
are-
the ice, the frozen
Yeah, the
floor.
bean
Yeah,
pot.
they're more. The bean pot as well. The bean pot is strictly
They play the
Boston
bean pot.
teams. It's like the Crossroads Classic in Indiana with basketball, but it's
Oh,
hockey.
that's
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it is the bean con.
Exactly.
Because of
Flicking
Boston.
beans.
baked
Yeah,
beans.
yeah, that's why.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
Well, you
There's
should-
not conflicting reports.
Well, wait till
we
you.
are right. You are not.
If you were to see the bean pot trophy, I think you'd question it a little bit, maybe, perhaps. but-
Anyways, the bean pot does take place up there. It's more of a frozen fort town, you're saying.
yeah, exactly. And there's probably like a 10-year run where one of those two schools won like 6.
Does this affect you at all, this whole thing? I think I like to gamble on the college football games a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about what's going on. This year, we're going to have to do a little bit more research.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be, simulcasting a couple. Yeah, we're going to be in the college football landscape this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let's take that in a little bit. We're going to be in the college football landscape this year. We got to remember that.
Covering the games from every angle.
We got to make sure we pay it its due respect.
Absolutely. Doesn't affect me at all, though, because I have no respect for the game, really. But
No,
I'm excited to watch
now
it.
you have
to.
Yeah.
That's what we just said.
Starting
That was what we just said.
right now, I have some respect for the college game.
That's very nice of you.
I made a change today.
You did.
And this is what it is.
Look at you.
College
right here,
football.
On this hard-working Tuesday, August 9th, you have made a full change on how you view life, mostly because you've been forced to. But, hey, welcome to the job.
No, yeah. I'm excited for college football. Maybe I'll pick a team this year. You know, who knows? Maybe I jump on a bandwagon.
Oh, you want to talk about, like, me becoming a big-time Mets fan?
Exactly.
Bro, I'm fucking all in on Edwin.
Uh-huh.
Edwin Diaz and I now follow each other on Twitter.
That's pretty cool.
Hit the fucking trumpets, dude.
Yeah,
I am
come on.
so excited about it. Michael Cole has been a Mets mark for a long time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Literally grew up doing that. So he saw the entire thing that happened yesterday on the show and some other people talking about me being a Mets fan. And he sent me a text that was like, hey, we get to go to a World Series game together, which means like Cole is expecting me to buy suite for us.
Right.
Because he knows there's no chance I would go unless.
That's how you're watching
That's
it.
how,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
So I respect Cole's angle here. This Mets team, though, does feel like a fun team to be a part of.
Dogs.
If they are willing to rehearse that fucking narco entrance for the closer coming out, I respect their operation. I just want to. Now, I did learn and was reminded this morning, KFC is a Mets fan.
Yeah.
He has long, and this reminded me, he has long been posting like miserable Mets posts, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this team has been terrible for a long time, and now they're good? Is this what's going on? Is this team that I am very new fan? Because I'm not signing up for what KFC used to post about.
No.
I think it's vastly different now, though, right? We're in a much different world of Mets, and listen, I will be a Mets fan. I will be an Edwin Diaz fan. But if this team's going to, like, I remember KFC roasting this team, right? Like, he used to fight them.
Kind of like habitual chokers. Like, and I don't want to say it's like cursed almost, but since Steve Cohen bought the team, things have kind of, because.
Okay, so we're in a new team.
And
we're
also,
in a new era.
They are destined, though, to lose tragically in the playoffs.
No,
Yeah.
we're not. Not
Well,
with fucking Edwin Diaz. How are we losing? He's coming out. Bro, he's coming out of that thing, and they're just hitting that. Hit the fucking trumpets. They're going to have Timmy Trumpet standing on top of the fucking City Field, City Stadium, City
Field, yep.
City Field.
Yep.
He's going to be standing up on top. All lights go out in the entire thing. One spotlight on Edwin Diaz, one spotlight on Timmy Trumpet. I can see it now. It's October, and all of the worries of the Mets are going to blow it. Fucking, he's coming in 102 on the fucking paint. How you doing? I won a World Series all of a sudden.
With DeGrom and Scherzer, there's a chance he doesn't even have to pitch.
Well,
That's the thing. And then
I would like the trumpets to be heard in the World Series, please. You know?
I mean, hey,
Game
there's
4.
there's a chance. I've said I'd love a Subway Series. You know, Mets, Yankees. That would be sweet.
How
but,
upset have you been about this whole Mets situation?
Nah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, like none of this shit matters right now. Like,
No, it
you know,
does matter.
in
They're a team-
October.
They're a team that has that guy. How you literally walk through the curtain. That's what he's doing. He's walking through the curtain in WWE. Game is on the line, right? Because the closer only comes in when it's close and it
Right.
matters, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is like a field goal kicker walking out for a game winner. And while he's walking onto the field, they're playing a full entrance song and him dancing basically with the fucking crowd and then making the kick. The amount of moxie that takes. I can't help but be, this guy's my favorite fucking player. And people are saying he's gotten much better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Think about what this guy's been through. This guy, they're calling him Ed Lose. There ain't nothing like having your name be Edwin, being a competitive person, and people calling you Ed
More
Lose.
like Ed Lose.
It's tough. Because that's in a grocery store.
Right.
More like Ed Lose, right? All right. And then now, what happened? He just got better, faster to get the yawn? The Tommy yawn?
I don't know if he got Tommy John. You throw that hard, and if you miss your spots, you give up a lot of homers. Which is, you can't do that if you're a closer. He'd come in and I think this year I saw a stat. I want to say the Mets are. I might be wrong on this, but I think they're like 65-0 in one-run games, which doesn't happen a lot. So he is having a magical season. But yeah, a couple years ago, he was coming in, and it was a lot of Mets fans would probably say hey, there's a good chance that this fucking guy's gonna blow this.
So he's been with the Mets? And the Mets have stuck with him through Ed lose to now Ed win, no matter what.
Yeah, for the last couple of years. I think he was maybe with the Mariners before that or something like that. Yeah.
This is his fourth year with the Mets.
Yeah.
So that's previous ownership too, right? Because Cohen came in here in the last couple of years.
Cohen's a good guy too, we know, because Chris Stefano said he's a nice guy who did those dinners.
All right.
You're right.
Seriously,
That is the only way. That's the only story we've heard about.
ever.
I assume there's others. No, I'm not sure. He owns a team. We're not. I mean, in New York. But yeah,
Chrissy Chaos.
Chrissy story time.
Yeah.
He
That was fun.
Chrissy College Fund.
Yeah, Chrissy Martinis.
boom, Chris Stefano.
Yeah.
Paisano came in here, told a story about performing at Cohen's like dinner, like at the head of the table, and then they paid him to stop or something.
Handsomely.
And then now they're friends and they get along.
Crazy,
I remember that. So he's a big time Mets fan, just like me now.
Yeah, Ty's just a little bummed just because Edwin, he's kind of pushed Mariano Rivera out of the sights of New York City.
I mean, that's what a moron would say. But yeah, that's
that's just
and
what
like
I've
I told you,
that's just what I've seen.
He's trying to be a friend, it sounds like. Are you trying to stick up for him right now for what the
absolutely
situation
not.
is?
He's fucking trying to throw dirt on Mo Rivera's grave.
No.
Which, hey, you know what, Edwin Diaz? Let's do it for 15 years before
Oh,
we
wow,
first
wow,
get
wow, wow.
This guy's
Are
the
the
best
trumpets,
ever.
Are the trumpets
I love
ever
his
gonna
entrance.
stop blowing?
His
No.
entrance is awesome. His entrance is awesome. But okay, like I said,
Seems like he hates
in
it.
2 weeks
You
from
don't
now,
like Edwin.
it has nothing to do with me
Diaz
not
isn't-
liking Edwin Diaz.
What's the
Just
problem?
when I saw you tweet this the other day. When I saw you tweet this the other day, I knew what was going to happen for the and the Mets are hot right now. They're playing well, so it's like hey, this isn't just
boiling right now.
This isn't just going to go away in a couple days. Yankees are on a downslide right now.
How about him seeing me tweet that and immediately going, fuck.
We don't talk about baseball fucking year. He's tweeting something about the Mets. Oh, they're my favorite team now.
Yeah.
Of course they
Let's
are.
go, LGM.
Of course they are.
LGFM, dude.
Yeah, let's fucking go, Mets.
Well,
Let's
go,
go.
fucking Mets.
Is that what they say, LGFM?
I think Pete Alonso does say LFGM.
Let's fucking go Mets. Oh, that's a polar bear.
Yeah.
Dog.
Won back-to-back home run derbies. How you doing? Keep moving. Chose to lose this year because they got a longer season ahead of them. Going to the fucking World Series.
Beast. DeGrom's a dog.
Dog,
too.
dude.
He's Best pitcher in the
Very good.
league.
He comes out to what? Simple Man?
He's starting pitcher. So I don't know what they're playing in the stadium when he comes out. It might be
Simple
Simple
Man.
Man.
How
but
come does the starter walk from the outfield?
no.
Come on.
Well, I mean,
doing?
I guess
that needs to happen.
technically you do if you're doing a bullpen session out there. But if you're the home team, you're just coming out from the dugout.
Well, have you seen the Japanese entrances as well for their league?
Well, I seen the sex toys in the back of the.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that was the Korean
That was
baseball.
Korean.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah.
I have not seen the Japanese.
It's
league.
pretty awesome. I don't know if they just
Cars.
do
The
it on-
cars. Is that the golf cart one?
Some of them do golf carts. One guy did like a drone hoverboard almost all the way out, and a lot
That was
of
the
the
pitcher.
No, that's the manager, I believe.
Yeah,
Skipper
it
heading
was
down there.
electric.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That is the baseball that I'm talking about.
Yep.
Edwin Diaz got me hooked. I hope everybody's happy. But if you do end up 2 weeks from now or a week from now doing what you're predicting is going to happen, and as football continues to kind of start ramping back up here, there's a chance I fall out of love.
Yeah,
with
your stranglehold on the Mets might
No, well, and also the baseball that matters is right in the middle of what, football?
start of football. Yeah.
And soccer Lombardi time?
It'll end before soccer.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so it's before soccer Lombardi.
October.
Yep.
October's when it matters, but then does it
The
creep
World
into
Series
November?
sometimes creeps into the first few days of November. Yeah.
Okay, so when the Mets are playing in that, that's when baseball November on is just full football to go.
Yeah.
Soccer Lombardi time. I completely forgot about that. I keep forgetting.
It's coming up. Soccer Lombardi's right around the corner.
soon.
It is.
Friday after Thanksgiving, we get England and U.S.
At Tone Diggs, can't wait to watch that. We appreciate you for watching and listening to this show. Obviously, we just talked about a sport we know nothing about, but I'm a new fan of, and I'm excited about it. Joining us now is a man to chit-chat with us about another sport we know nothing about. He always stops by to inform us of what's going on inside of the association. He works for the stadium and the athletic networks. He's obviously a writer and an internet personality, but he also happens to know everything about everything in the NBA. They actually keep score in that sport on the inside information. This motherfucker's batting a perfect game here the last 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. How are you,
Pat,
Shams?
what's going on? It's been a minute.
Hey, little thicker beard today. You look super this is like a GQ look we got going on here.
This is This is way late. Dog days in the off season. Look, right now I'm just letting it loose a little bit. Only on your show. You're gonna see me on another show. I'm gonna be trimmed up a little bit, but on this show, I gotta come on that.
Oh, a little chill shams. This is
Okay.
This little at
Laid
home
back
relax
shams.
shams.
Eating ice cream with a fork, Shams.
Yes, yes, absolutely, and oatmeal with fork. Too.
There it is.
Yeah, the whole thing, everything he did.
Applesauce.
Boom.
Soup.
A lot of water, eating lunch.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the Shams that we're talking to.
Let's
Right now.
go.
It's an honor to be talking to that Shams right now. We appreciate you for joining us. A lot of drama in the NBA, mostly surrounding a report that came from your Twitter account. Kevin Durant had a meeting with the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, Mr. Sy, and Kevin Durant said, hey, you're either going to go forward with me or you're going to go forward with Steve Nash and the general manager, one or the other. The owner has since, I guess, come out and said he's going with the GM and Steve Nash. How long has this been brewing? Did this come out? This seems to have come out of nowhere for me. I didn't know why Kevin Durant wanted to move on. I did not expect it to be an ultimatum type situation with the ownership. Has this been cooking all season? And what finally put Kevin Durant over the edge, you think, to go and talk directly to Sy? And Sy telling him he's not on his side, was that a surprise? So basically, tell us fucking everything, Shams, please.
So I think we got to go back to the trade request, right? June 30th, Kevin Durant asks for a trade. It came out of nowhere to a lot of people. And I think the question was why? Why did Kevin Durant ask out for a trade? And I think that's the question that a lot of people have been wondering. I think the Nets at one point were concerned, were wondering, why did Kevin Durant ask out? We feel like we've done everything for him. Why has it gotten to this place? Well, I think there's been little nuggets of information, I think, over the last several weeks that would lead I think even the Nets to believe, whether it's Steve Nash, Sean Marks, there's obviously some displeasure toward them. And also the fact that this team didn't fulfill the expectations that they had last year, even the year prior to that. Wow. And Steve Nash, as head coach, Sean Marks as general manager, there's a level of accountability, I think, that, from Kevin Durant's perspective, clearly is what he tried to get across to Joe Tsai. And by making this ultimatum, that was definitely news, and that was definitely relevant to the situation. This was not an ultimatum, even though people might have known for the last month that these are two individuals that there's a level of displeasure toward, that there might even be a level like, get these guys out of there. But to actually make that direct ultimatum, that was not something that happened before this weekend. And I think once that happened, it's clear, mentally, emotionally, Kevin Durant just is not, he's checked out. He's not there in Brooklyn. And so that's what I think has created all this. And, in the Nets' mind, they're a championship-ready team. With Kevin Durant on this team, Kyrie Irving committed, they're a championship team. It's just hard to then compete for a championship when your star, clearly, says the owner, I want you to either fire these two guys or trade me. And I think probably even in his heart of hearts, I think everyone around the league, I think people around the Nets, they understand Josiah's not going to fire Sean Marks and Steve Nash. And so whether Kevin Durant knew going into this conversation that the ultimatum would not succeed, that's clearly what Josiah, when he tweets last night and says, I'm going to support my coaching staff and my front office. That's basically him going with his side, which is Sean Marks and Steve Nash.
So you
and
think
that clearly is going to drive even probably a deeper well between the two sides.
I'd say.
Josiah, at the end of the day, though, he doesn't need to make a decision. Kevin Durant's under contract for 4 years. Sorry, I had to throw that last.
No, he's under contract for 4 years. It's a lot of money. I understand that there's a chance that the team could say, no, you're going to play here, and I'm sure that'll work. I'm sure it always works out that way. But you kind of alluded to it, but I would like to kind of dive in a little bit more. Kevin Durant thought that when he went in and talked, like him and Sai's relationship was a good relationship, you think, going into this meeting? Like they had a good relationship, one in there. Kevin Durant thought like he was maybe doing everybody a favor here. Like, hey, we can end this real quickly. Was Kevin Durant taken back that Joe Tsai publicly then said, hey, I hear the reports, they are true, and fuck Kevin Durant, I am. Like, did he know that was that a surprise as well?
I think I don't know if Kevin Durant was surprised that Joe Tsai, within hours of the report, went out and supported Steve Nash and Sean Marks. But I think going into the meetings, it's clear, whether it's that June 30th call, whether it's the meeting over this past weekend in London that I reported, it's clear that the intent from Kevin Durant's perspective has been, listen, this is how I feel. I don't want to be there. I want out. Let's work together on moving me out. But again, business, life, it doesn't usually work that way or as easy as just saying, please trade me. There's always going to be these moments like when Ben Simmons asked out last year, or when Kawhi Leonard has asked out, Kyrie Irving asked out at one point, Anthony Davis asked out.
What?
When these trade requests, especially in the NBA, are made, it's very rare where a team will just acquiesce immediately. And sometimes it does happen, right? When Paul George got traded from Oklahoma City to the Clippers the year that Kawhi Leonard signed in 2019, that deal was made quietly. Oklahoma City got every last asset that they wanted, and that deal was made. And it later came out that Paul George had requested a trade. But those situations are very few and far between. Usually when a player of that magnitude requests a trade, this is what happens. And usually it becomes a protracted situation. It takes time. And in this situation, I think Kevin Durant, it's obvious. And from what I've been told, that meeting, on both sides, it was looked at as a transparent meeting, but it's not going to be as simple as getting him out. Because the Nets, at the end of the day, as I said last time I was on the show, they've set a high asking price for Kevin Durant, in their conversations with Boston, which I think is right now, when you look at the landscape, the Celtics are probably a leading team for Kevin Durant when you look at the pieces that they have. Jaylen Brown, you're able to add draft picks, other players. If Brooklyn goes that direction, you want as much as you can get, and that includes Marcus Smart, that includes draft picks, which right now, from what I'm told, Boston is not inclined to do. And so that's really what's going on here. There's a stalemate on all fronts, and we have about a month and a half before training camp now.
Yeah, so what is the deadline? Training camp, I guess?
I mean, there's not enough, there's no official trade deadline. The official trade deadline is in February in the NBA, coming up in 2023. So but technically there is no deadline, but as you get closer to training camp, as the reality could set in, I reported yesterday, there are executives around the league that are wondering, if there is no deal, does Kevin Durant show up to training camp, or will he sit and hold out? Similarly to the way Ben Simmons handled it, does he go the Jimmy Butler route? Jimmy Butler, when he asked out of Minnesota in 2018, there was a trade request, and he showed up to camp, and let's just say he made things uncomfortable. Yeah. Does Kevin Durant go that route? I think a lot of those things are at play, and when you have a player that clearly has asked out, those things are on the table. Are you willing as an organization to deal with that disgruntled star? If you are, then you keep him and you go into the season and you see what happens. I have a
question. I have a follow-up here. So you said there was a meeting in London this past weekend. Obviously, Kevin Durant, James Harden were at the Travis Scott concert at the O2 Arena or whatever. So the conversation when James Harden was with the hamstring and I'm getting out of here, trade me out of here, was that he was fed up with the Kyrie situation, the whole thing. Now, if you start piecing things together, like Harden's telling Kevin Durant, after Kevin Durant makes a decision, he no longer wants to be with the GM and the coach. He's like, man, that's what I was trying to tell. Is that a bonding conversation, you think, there?
I don't have the information that this is a bonding conversation. I don't have that information, but I mean, just you could just kind of see the tea leaves, right? I mean, the fact that
we all misread what James Harden wanted the fuck out for, I think, right? Did we not?
I mean, you said it. You said it.
Okay. All right. Okay. See, look, here we go. We're getting places.
See, but I'm not reporting that. I think that James Harden, he asked out for a trade, and I think even after he asked out, I don't think there were any. I don't think him and Kevin Durant were off terms. I don't think him and Kyrie Irving, hated each other. I don't think either sides hate each other. Actually, I do think when James Harden was going through that moment, Kevin Durant was hurt. Those two guys, from what I was told, weren't communicating as much. Kevin Durant was rehabbing through his knee injury. James Harden, as we saw, was trying to get out of Brooklyn. So you had two competing situations. One guy is trying to get back on the court, is trying to rehab. He was really not in the mix. I do wonder, Pat, all the time, if Kevin Durant was healthy and didn't have that sprained MCL in the middle of the season before James Harden asked out, does James Harden ever request a trade? Because if you have James Harden and Kevin Durant, that team is still really, really good. And if those two guys are playing, I don't think James Harden asks out.
And Shams, you have to add on there, if New York had the same rules as basically every other city, big city, with the vaccination mandate for city employees in a city building or something like that, whatever the clause was that New York and Toronto were not allowed to have non-vaccinated players, but other teams' non-vaccinated players were able to go there and play. Like, if it didn't have that, think about Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, because winning cures all, right? And that's in the NFL.
Winning cures everything. You said it best. I mean, winning cures everything. I was at that game, Brooklyn against Chicago. I think it was January 12th. It was Kyrie Irving's second game back in Chicago, and they beat the Bulls, I think, by 30, 40 points.
Jesus.
And that was when, I think that was the last time the big three played together and succeeded together at a high level. That was when the Bulls were like one of the top, I think, 1, 2, 3 seeds in the Eastern Conference. We never got to see those three. I think those three guys played a total of, 16 games together?
Man.
It's crazy to think about that.
The Nets are saying that right now.
Assemble these three guys and they played 16 games. They went 13-3, Pat.
Joe Tsai, owner of the Nets, is like, hey, Kevin, where are you at this weekend? Well, I'm in London. And Joe Tsai's like, oh, you're going to the Travis Scott concert? Me too. Let's meet. I don't know if
the meeting might have happened there. I don't have. I said London. I didn't give it a location. I don't know where that is.
Okay. Chris Jenner's the best, by the way. I mean, it's just a nonstop. It's just a nonstop. Of course, that's happening at the Travis Scott. No, nonetheless. They celebrated as if it was a big time show. So congrats to Travis. On fucking killing London town, dude. Absolutely killing it. It's interesting how it's all playing out because the Nets have to be thinking to themselves as well. We paid this guy, we paid this guy, we paid this guy. We had it all set. We were the Kings of New York. The Knicks were kind of we were gonna do it. And then life happens the way it does and would never have the opportunity. Now it sounds like Kevin Durant's on his way out. Kyrie stays and I got a text from this guy last night, okay, after I put a tweet out. I dabbled into the NBA world, into the rumors world, into the story world on Twitter, and it was a story from Rick Bucher.
Oh, Bucher.
Rick Bucher went on to Colin Cowherd's The Herd yesterday, and he basically, in passing, told a story that the team had asked Ben Simmons to play in that Game 5 against the Celtics or something like that in the playoffs, Game 4 against the Celtics in the playoffs. And the team, this is not the coach or the GM or anything, the team did that. And Ben Simmons didn't even answer. He just removed himself from the group text.
No.
Yikes.
One of the most hilarious things I've ever heard in my life. Now, I was being presented as if this was a real story from a real insider in a position of professionalism as telling a story. Said it as a joke, but told the story as somebody that was insider. Didn't get the full conversation. That's on me. I get a text from Shams, goes, we have to talk about this tomorrow. Shams, you're telling me that this awesome, legendary thing happened and it went a little differently? Like he gave a response like, guys, I'm really hurt. Fuck you. And then he left? Or did this whole thing is a big fugace?
Pat, I just said, I just need to be on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say on this is this never happened.
Whoa.
Bucher?
You're calling Bucher a liar?
Never happened. And
I don't think
Ben
it's
Simmons actually, I'm gonna do some more.
He's
I'm
ruining my movie.
gonna give Ben Simmons some love here. I mean, from everything I've been told, he is doing more on the floor. He's looking good.
Hope so.
I think the Nets have high expectations for Ben Simmons next year. You talk about a guy, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA guy. I think that there are high expectations for Ben Simmons. He's supposed to be ready for training camp here in a month and a half, and so he's doing more and more on the court, I'm told. So good news on the Ben Simmons front. This though was not something that occurred.
Man, could you imagine? Like, think about how much I enjoyed hearing that story, though.
Yeah.
Like I laughed.
Listen,
so
I know.
hard.
I listen. It sounds amazing, but it didn't happen.
To the villain that is Ben Simmons, too, it just is perfect. Like, and we apologize to Ben Simmons because everything we have heard about you thus far did lead us to a point in which we believe that story to be true.
Sure, yes.
So that's on us for assuming anything. But also, hey, Rick, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Rick?
What are you doing, Rick? You know that I'm a fall for that. Hook, line, sinker.
Yeah.
You know that I'm into it. So I'm not just the only one. If I fall for it, everybody's going to do it. Happy to hear Ben Simmons is back on track after the back surgery. Kyrie Irving, he'll remain at the Nets?
So, I mean, right now, Kyrie, he opted into his contract. He's committed to the Nets, and from everything I've been told, he's been doing everything behind the scenes. When you think about leadership, when you think he's worked out, he's worked out with teammates. This offseason, continuing to have those conversations with Sean Marks, Steve Nash. From his side, he's entering the last year of his deal. There's not really much of a place for him to really rock the boat. I think what you're going to see from Kyrie Irving is just a level of high professionalism, and I think that's what he's shown since he's opted in. Now, the other side is this. Him and Kevin Durant are very close. This is something that everyone knows. And I think at the end of the day, whatever Kevin Durant wants to do, go through with the trade requests, have feelings this way or that way, he's going to always support Kevin Durant as a friend and his happiness. But as far as, where this leaves him and the Nets, I think whether Kevin Durant is traded or not, I think, Kyrie Irving has an opportunity to still be a Net. And I think the likelihood is still that right now the plan is for him to stay a Net going into training camp in the season. These things can always change, but I don't believe as this stands right now, if Kevin Durant's traded, it's a foregone conclusion that Kyrie Irving's traded. I think that it's really going to be about how these conversations keep going.
Kyrie allowed to play next year? Yeah, the mandate thing.
He is allowed to play in New York City, but Toronto, there was just a memo that the NBA put out that unvaccinated players are still ineligible to play in Toronto because of Canada's and the overall vaccine mandate there.
All right. We appreciate Canada caring for people more than anybody else on earth. We do. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Trudeau.
Thank you guys so much. Connor, your question for Shams.
Yeah, Shams, you said Boston's probably the best offer the Nets are going to get, essentially. I don't know if those are your exact words, but that's what it sounded like. What other teams might jump in on trying to go after KD? Because it does seem as though this situation, all roads lead to him leaving.
I mean, when you look at the best player, Connor, that's on the board, I think Jaylen Brown would have to be that. I think if you can go get Scotty Barnes from Toronto, which right now Scotty Barnes is not on the table, I think you go do that as well. But as it stands right now, Jaylen Brown is probably that centerpiece of a trade that makes the most sense. But Toronto, Miami, Boston, I think even Phoenix, could Phoenix still come up with some kind of a package around Mikal Bridges and 4, 5, 6 first rounders to go send another team and try to get back in this race? Because once DeAndre Ayton had his contract offer sheet from Indiana, that 4-year, $133 million deal, once it was matched by Phoenix, it really created a position for Phoenix. They didn't have many assets besides Mikal Bridges and a bunch of draft picks. And so we'll see where Phoenix, to me, they are still very, very far behind from the rest of the pack. But really, those are the 3 or 4 teams that I think still poses a serious threat for Kevin Durant.
Shams, why don't the Nets just blow everything up? Like we've heard that like everyone talks about all these guys being like prima donnas and they can't play together. Are we sure that the Nets just like don't know how to fucking manage or handle any of these guys? Like what if they keep Durant? Like we've talked about, like stuff around the team. Like there's no way they're gonna win with all the shit that's hanging over that. If they trade him, they're not as good. Like why don't they just blow everything up and get draft picks?
Yeah, I think that was. I think when you talk to people around, when I talk to people around the league, it's before free agency, the question was, what is Brooklyn going to do? Depending on what happened to Kyrie Irving, I think there was a window of time there where maybe you go down that rebuilding route, but clearly Kyrie Irving stayed on the roster, and if you have Kyrie Irving on the team, you still have Kevin Durant under contract. You're trying to win a championship, and I think at the end of the day, Joe Tsai has proven as an owner he wants to win a ring, and you don't win a ring by trading out Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant for a boatload of draft picks. That's why, I think the Rudy Gobert trade gets thrown around a lot.
Then fire Steve Nash.
What Utah got.
Oh, Steve's only been 1 year.
Yeah, I know, but KD doesn't want to play for him. So if you want to win a ring and you keep one of the best players on the earth and just fucking fire Steve Nash.
Well, what about Marks, pal?
Yeah,
he could fucking see the door too.
See you later. We got KD.
Yeah, Joe Tsai knows what he's doing. Let him run the whole operation.
You think
that's why there's a lot of, I don't know if confusion is the right word. It's just a lot of uncertainty. And I think around that uncertainty, listen, it's not impossible. They could theoretically bring this group back. You can force Kevin Durant back on this team.
Yeah.
If he ends up showing up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Kevin Durant's
what you can do with this team.
You know him better
Does
than
that give
us.
you the best chance to win?
We don't want to speak over you, but we are because you know this a lot more than us, so we apologize. Kevin Durant type of guy, definitely just, all right, bygones be bygones, move on. Yep. I think everything that's not right?
I mean, right now it doesn't seem like that, right? But, I mean, the closer you get to camp, you never know what can happen. The closer you get to the regular season, you never know. At the end of the day, game checks can be involved once you start missing games. We saw what happened with Ben Simmons. He has about $20 million up for arbitration. Is he going to get that amount of money from Philadelphia or not? Does Kevin Durant want to be in that position? I think these are all questions the Nets have to ask.
You think Joe Tsai's going to Travis Scott concert so he can have a bunch of fucking draft picks, pal? No.
No way.
He's not getting rid of his. Hey, listen, I got Kyrie on the team. How you doing? Keep it moving. I trade for Ben Simmons, and I got a good Australian little happy hour I get to go to. Yeah.
You do have to wonder, too, if Kevin Durant had a strong woman in his corner. And
All right, listen, we're not diving in. Did you hear that? Did you hear Colin Cowherd's entire take on that whole thing?
No, I didn't hear that. What was it?
Well, it was about Aaron doing ayahuasca and him not being married to have a strong woman. And then there was a lot of ricochet shots that went around the entire sports world.
Yeah, everywhere.
The entire sports. Kevin Durant caught some. Kyrie caught some. I think there was some in other sports as well. Big Pharma got in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a full thing. And that's why that guy's the Bob Ross of sports talk.
Yeah.
The picture he painted.
You need a strong woman in your life. I think it was just your anniversary, right, Pat? Happy anniversary.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, Sam kicks ass. She is awesome. But also, I got a lot of friends that aren't married, and it's like I think they're pretty successful too. But I'm not going to judge them strictly off of being married or not. Colin Cowherd had a way to do it though, and it sounded compelling. Last question for you, Shams. Here, we can't thank you enough for joining us. Go ahead, Tone.
Sean, what's going on with Dejounte Murray? He is in these summer leagues, and he is disrespecting everybody, including fucking Paolo, Banchero. What's the gossip around the league on that situation?
And Paolo as a whole.
I mean, to me, I think Dejounte Murray seems hungry. He seems like he has an edge to him. I think it'll be good for Atlanta. I'm always gonna, Pat, I'm always going to look at it as a positive. I think Atlanta needs that edge. And if he can bring that edge to Trae Young and John Collins and that group, that's the type of guy that they need. That's the type of guy that they're missing. So that's my take on it.
Does everybody hate Paolo? Because he said, would you rather have 10 NBA All-Stars or one championship? And he was like, I'm not even going to lie. Fucking 10-time All-Star sounds sweet.
See, I didn't even see that, but that's
I respect the answer.
At least he's being honest.
Yeah, but honesty, I don't know if that's the right
time and place.
Keep that one in.
With the Murray situation, and is Paolo? What is he just? Is he just he's going to be a guy, and he knows he's going to be a guy, and everybody knows he's going to be a guy? Is that what
he's the number one overall pick? You know, you got the number one overall pick, shine. I think that's what Dejounte Murray said. But from everything I've been told, Paolo's a pretty carefree, easygoing guy. So I'm not going to even speak on that beef. I don't have enough information on it.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear that Paolo sounds like a guy, though.
Yeah.
Because he's incredibly talented. I think he put up like 40 or something in that same game.
Balled out.
Just a stud. Just like you, ladies and gentlemen, the insider of the inside of the association, ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. Thank you, buddy. Interesting thing about basketball talk.
Yeah.
And I think this is why we have a different perspective on the whole NBA ratings thing. NBA talk on Twitter crushes.
Yeah, it goes.
Like right now, YouTube, our NBA clips will not do well because we are not an NBA team or a show at all. There's no reason anybody would say, yeah, I want to hear what fucking McAfee says about the NBA. Nobody's saying that, right? But on Twitter, NBA moves the needle.
Oh, yeah. Your tweet last night went.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got to figure out how to profit off of Twitter. Yeah, that's what Adam Silver should be thinking about. We crush on Twitter. I don't know TikTok well enough. I assume the NBA does very well on TikTok as well.
Probably.
It is a very active, but our shit today, Shams, everything Shams said today as a tweet will be our biggest tweets of the day. Today.
Every time Shams comes on, one or two things he says is like, oh, okay, that's really going.
YouTube gets nothing.
Nope.
Does absolutely nothing on YouTube. Twitter, though, it absolutely goes.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the NBA community allowing us to get information from Shams Charania. With that being said, it does feel like he fucking knows everything about everything.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Yeah, I like the fact that he goes, I don't know enough about that. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, one time he said, when I talk to people around radio. And then there was some people thought, right? Remember that?
Yeah, talking about being surprised about Kevin Durant's trade request.
I respect that every word that's coming out is like, yeah, all right, let's make sure people know that Shams knew.
Yeah.
Shams knew.
I had this.
Shams knew. And he was the guy that broke the Kevin Durant news just last night with a meeting with Joe Tsai, potentially at Travis Scott concert.
Ooh.
You think your question about rebuilding and just blowing it up?
Yeah, this guy's a moron. Like, he's got a lot of money, but he's a moron.
Oh, right. Okay. I mean, we don't know him, but you think a guy that's going to a Travis Scott concert, okay, publicly, owner of a team, wants to have a bunch of fucking nobodies on his team in Brooklyn, New York? No way.
Well, that's what I don't get, though. It's pretty cut and dry. KD said, like, okay, like, you want me to stay? You want this team to be like the team that you paid for and you built? Then fucking fire these two guys and I'll do it. And it's like,
What if KD doesn't like the next coach?
Well,
tough shit.
What if the next player doesn't like the next?
That's how it works,
You
though.
know, James Harden, star. He wanted out. What was that for? Try to get out of Shams. Didn't get it, but
He said you said that, not him.
maybe he did not enjoy the way things were going, both from a front office and
Can't lose KD.
Well, you lose James Harden and KD.
That's what I mean. Like,
And I'm not saying James Harden is like end all be all James Harden from like 5 years ago or whatever. James Harden still went to Philly and had some. He stunk, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't
good,
great.
and then he stunk in the playoffs.
but if he's playing with KD and Kyrie, then like, yeah, for sure, you know, that team definitely could still win a title. But if they get rid of KD, like, they're not going to win a championship.
All right, let's get to a break. You know, we've talked enough about
I was
sports. We
going to
know
say,
nothing
ultimately,
about.
who cares?
Oh! All right, it's Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Celtics fans. And if they get Jaylen Brown, they'll still be a playoff team for sure. Won't win the title. But
Keep Jalen Brown.
Ben Simmons, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie.
yeah,
Play some good D, right?
absolutely. Kyrie kind of a liability, but absolutely.
This is Scott Stevens, dude.
Hell yeah.
Dog, future CMA winner.
When's he performing at CMA Fest?
When?
Yeah.
Probably next year.
Okay,
He was on the rooftop this year. Next year he'll be on the fucking
Be in
main
the
stage.
stadium.
Big stage.
Was he really on the rooftop?
Yeah,
That's what Nick says.
in a harness.
Nick lost to Bruce in golf.
Oh, Jesus. There's a budding rivalry.
Sorry, it just came into my head. It's fucked up that's what just.
It wasn't even a match.
It was. You guys were keeping score.
Are we gonna produce the match for the next one?
Yeah,
For
those
them?
two? That'd be awesome. It's gonna have to be in the.
There we go.
Same way.
Yeah, we'll have a full. Yeah. Good luck, Nick.
It's gonna be tough for him to cheat virtually. I proved that. Let's move forward with that.
That used to be the classic, like coach trying to motivate players to care about preseason games. Are they keeping score?
Yeah.
If they're keeping, I'm a competitor. If they're keeping score, it matters. And then as of lately, everybody's like, are they keeping score? It's like, maybe. I don't know. They're fucking testing shit, bro.
Not really.
No, they are keeping score. And our program is not going to look bad. It's like, maybe. Who cares? That has literally been quite a turn in the last few years.
Well, and then the stat that always comes up around this time, too, Lions and Browns, both who went
Colts,
defeated.
hold on, winningest decade in NFL football, the Colts team that I showed up at the tail end of. It was like 0-4, 0-4, 0-4, 1-3, 0-4, 0-4, 0-4, which I think does have a sign about your depth of your team. You know, that team was structured around like paid guys at basically every position that had been around for a long time. And if any of them got hurt, it was going to be tough to fill it because, and on a much smaller note and less important, like special teams.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of depth. So the teams that do well in preseason normally have good depth. Probably judge their special teams through that entire thing if you'd like to.
There you go.
Yeah.
Little tidbit.
Roster construction is a big deal on how everybody goes, and you kind of get showcased that. But the people that are going all in on the top end of the roster seem to be winning a lot more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Got to get lucky, though. We'll see who gets lucky this year. We're back in about 4 minutes, wrapping up hour one with some phone calls. This is Scott Stevens.
Hell yeah.
Banger with a banger. We'll see you in 4.
Back, 2015? Does that have any impact on this fight?
Technically, no. And I said this before. Leon Edwards is saying, "Oh, he just watched the fight and this and that," and he sees that, you know, he's gotten better technically in certain spots, and I've also gotten better in certain spots. But one thing that these guys don't understand is that I'm not fighting you technically. Of course, there's certain things that I need to watch out for with technically where you're good and where you're not so good. That's not necessarily how I fight guys. I fight your heart. I fight your head. I fight your heart right here. This doesn't lie. Your heart doesn't lie. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how big you are, how tough you are. This is what I'm fighting. And I know that I can break him. I've done it before, and I will do it again.
Hey, you're a dog, huh? Always been a dog? Always just, I mean, the way you just said there, I mean, technically you can work on whatever. I'm going in there to take your fucking soul, pal. Like that. Have you always had that? Has that always been something? I know you're a national champion wrestler, obviously, and you've been great as champion and almost fucking an unstoppable force, pound for pound best fighter. Have you always been just an absolute dog? And when do you think you got that?
It's one of those things that you just kind of create it. You know, and we can all attest to that. You know, there's times when you're by yourself and you're in those fields and you're kicking balls by yourself in those fields, and you're learning where to place the ball, how to place the ball, and there's no one with you. There might not be a coach with you. It might just be you. It might just be you and the ball in the field, and you as well. Just training. There's those moments to where you're just by yourself. These are moments to where you actually start to grow and build that dog. You know, you build it. I don't need a coach next to me to tell me, all right, great job. You did great there. I don't need a teammate or a friend or a mom and dad to be next to me and say, great job and clap for you. No, this is the times that you spend by yourself, putting in those work, even when it's tough, even when it's hard. That's what builds that dog. And these guys don't understand what I've been through all through my life to get to a certain point where, hey, you could be as skillful as you want to be, but when it comes down to bite down and we're both tired, you're exhausted, I'm exhausted, chances are my dog and that lion inside me is a lot bigger than theirs.
Bro, you're fucking awesome.
Yeah. What are you going to do to change and make Tua better? Have you gotten into that? This is very early in the whole process, and you're shaking hands, kissing babies right now, and you're a 0-win head coach that everybody loves.
0 wins.
0 win, but what are you thinking about that for Tua? How do you make him better?
We're going to start with scoring more points than the opponent.
Wow!
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
You are changing the game.
Changing the game
Yeah.
through math.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think I was just so fortunate in my career to be around the process of how I look at things with the empowerment of the right teachers that I look backwards, forwards, okay? What things do I see that are really awesome about his game on tape, even though we're at...
He's accurate as hell.
Boom! That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just, you were leading me. You should do this, maybe.
Dude,
Think about it in the future. But he's so accurate.
Or we should just spend the time finishing each other's...
sentences.
Oh, okay.
Hey, have we known each other for...
Our whole lives?
Oh, my God.
You tell...
Me?
Wow.
This is weird.
Dude.
Whoa.
Seems like you guys just became.
Dude.
Wow, this is fucking weird, AJ.
Bro.
Hey, this is...
Did we swap skins?
Wow, we learned a lot about yours, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show on this hard-working Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. We are thankful that you're joining us here either at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show or in your car or your office, wherever the hell you are, through SiriusXM. The Talks the Tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Intone Diggs is here. There's a lot of NFL news that we can chit-chat about, and we will in the next hour with AJ Hawk, who will join us, and also old Davis Dougie Mills.
Here we go, Dougie.
Let's hit a phone call here on the 5 Energy phone line. Oh, the system is broke. Should have came back earlier from the piss and checked if this was good or not. That's 100% on me.
And we could talk about the fact that the Lightning heard you yesterday, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was...
Hey, last night was a pretty big lightning storm.
Holy shit. Wild.
I mean, we've been talking about trying to wrangle lightning now for about 24 hours.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And a lot of people were telling me the guy with the key did Edison, and I guess Nikola Tesla did it.
Oh, yeah, Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
But at one point, but all that information was buried or whatever. I'm not talking about a key or a lightning rod. I'm talking about before it gets to us. Go ahead and taking something that just rounds it up, and then boom, we got our power issue taken care of forever.
Yeah.
These things come. I mean, there's no control over them. I get a report that maybe scattered lightning or whatever. It's like we have no idea. It's 2022. We've been around a long time. They're studying everything. People are smarter than they've ever been. Why the fuck and how the fuck does the lightning happen and where does it go? This thing's still killing a few hundred people a year in the United States of America. Just killed a couple people in front of the White House the other day. Can we not get a wrangle and a handle on the fucking lightning out there?
Last night was like prime time. Like, hey, this is gonna fucking send a massive tree branch through your house. Type of lightning.
Non-stop.
Not for like 6 hours.
It was a lightning show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they're saying, the Earth is rotating faster than it's ever rotated.
No big deal.
Is that because Bill McCumbus is driving that big fucking truck?
Probably. Gas guzzling son of a
Actually
bitch.
clocked it the other day. It was fucking spinning way faster.
Was it? The
Yeah,
Earth?
when I woke up and then when I went to bed was quicker.
I was starting to get a little bit more dizzy. So
Yeah.
it's funny you think about that. That's why SummerSlam ropes.
Oh, makes sense.
Oh
huh?
my God. I'm normally like a fish to water up there.
Yeah.
But it was oh my God, the thing was moving so fast. I'm lucky. I was basically drunk up there.
Getting pulled off your gravitational pull when he's supposed to do.
That's how we ended. That's how we ended the hour. That is allegedly happening, though, actually.
Yeah.
So is that affecting the weather at all? Because it's been hotter and thicker than it's ever fucking been here.
it might be.
And how do we
affecting.
slow down the Earth? Is any of the... I'm driving an electric vehicle. Is that slowing
I
down
think we
the
throw a
spin?
lasso around a moon, maybe.
Oh, and slow us down because the moon never moves.
We should just get fucking Verstappen to drive in the opposite direction.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Line them up.
Hey, listen, pal.
Need
Next
you to
40 years, we need you to just
peel
go.
tire.
Yeah,
Keep
just
going.
go.
Going that way.
That's right.
Yeah, but he's still dominating F1. Maybe we'll get some NASCAR greats like fucking Gordon and Bobby Labonte and fucking those guys. They still got
Smoke.
the skills.
Earnhardt Jr. still got it.
Oh,
Yeah, Dale
still got
Jr.
it.
would love to do it.
Tony
Junior,
Stewart.
if Junior was tasked with burning out so hard it slowed down the way planet Earth was spinning and how fast it was, fastest it's ever been, he'd fucking say, "Give me a Mountain Dew." Hop in
That's
there,
right.
wouldn't he? That's what Junior would
He
do.
would do it
Junior
so
would do
well,
it.
though. We'd probably start spinning the other way.
Well, then we'd be all fucked.
Then we get fucking Carl Edwards right next to him, and he's burning in the other direction.
Oh, so these two, kind of like how Monster Jam has them race against
exactly.
each other,
Yeah.
and right
Exactly.
next to each other, they'll be burning, fighting each other.
That's right.
Might stop the
We
Earth
get
as
it
a
right
whole.
back on perfect. Carl does a fucking backflip off of his car like he loves to do. And
Boom! I go up to the top ropes. I'm not off balance
Yep.
anymore, and bang, we're back at it.
Everything's solved.
For a real conversation, though, has anybody given any proclamations on why the Earth is spinning faster and how we slow it down? Or
Yeah, I mean, the Earth just wants football to be back, so they're just going to speed it up till we get back, and then once we're back, it'll realize, okay, we got balls in the air, we got football again.
the Earth's getting antsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be.
The Earth is sick. The Earth is sick of the off season.
Bingo.
It's spinning faster to get the days because the days would then be
Shorter.
shorter, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
So this is inevitably going to fuck up the clock at some point, right?
Well,
Not
maybe.
just the clock, the entire ecosystem. Tsunamis potentially as well involved.
Well, shout out Indiana, baby. Nowhere near those tsunamis.
These lightning
Earthquakes,
storms.
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
these lightning things that are potentially
Wait till we
happening.
got
That
fucking
is-
beachfront property here. It's gonna be fucking sweet.
Well, I think a lot of bad's going to have to happen for us
That's
to get
fine.
beachfront property.
Right.
Who cares?
The lightning thing.
You're going to have to compress your guilt of people that you've
Done.
never met. See, very good of you. Very good of you, Tone. There are some people that have the ability to do that, just move forward and, not even have any thoughts while they're laying their head down on a pillow all by themselves.
Yeah.
Tone's one of those guys.
That's right.
And it's really nice. That's good.
Lightning things feel simple. I mean, let's just put a massive fucking structure in the middle of every single city with one of those massive, metal balls at the top of it, and lightning will just
Like
hit
the
that.
Burj Khalifa.
Bingo.
Yeah, smart.
So we're making a building,
Simple.
lightning rod. We're making all these windmills to generate power off the wind and everything. You come out here to the middle of America, they're fucking everywhere.
Farms.
Who knows how well they're doing? If somebody could just catch lightning and throw that son of a bitch right into the outlets.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
Are we not playing the
I
game?
actually saw the other day that lightning struck one of those windmills and burned it to the ground. I assume lightning's pissed about wind energy, wants to be the premier energy.
What if lightning was just saying, "Hey, motherfuckers, I've been here all along"?
Yeah. Wake up.
I mean, it's certainly
Zeus.
possible.
Because the only thing that ever gets talked about is the thunder. Thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Just like brainwashing almost, like thunder. In the thunder roll, in the lightning strikes.
Yeah,
That
you're
one's
right.
called Thunder
It's called Thunder
Rolls.
Rolls.
Yeah.
Live band.
Big Thunder has been behind this
Yeah.
the entire time.
Bruce Springsteen's got a song called Thunder Road.
Live made a great song called Lightning Crashes. It is. I gotta give it a
That's a
listen.
good song.
Yeah. Thunderstruck really should be lightning struck because does thunder strike?
No, Thunder
Thor.
bangs.
Yeah.
God of thunder, not lightning.
Zeus.
Boom.
Yeah.
And he has lightning all over him.
Yeah.
Why is Thunder getting all the pub for everything?
My
We need to
God.
fucking wrangle some lightning and send that son bitch right into our power. Then we don't have to worry about anything. Now, to be clear, I would like to learn, some projections from very smart people that have never been wrong in their entire life about anything, about why the Earth is spinning faster.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know.
We know who we could call.
And is it actually Dale Earnhardt Jr. that we're going to have to do to slow this thing down? Or are we even trying to slow it down? Or what are we doing? You know what I mean? I mean, that would be something I'd like to hear about.
We get like Joey Chestnut to take a chunk out of the earth, maybe eat a bunch of dirt.
Oh, so it's not as
round,
not as round and as
It creates a little wind pocket.
Well, we need to
We need sails.
we need to make this thing like a Jeep with a square.
Yeah.
Boom. Or
We need a parachute for the Earth.
bingo. That's all we need. We need to make it less aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut's a guy.
Here we go.
Joe, you've been training for this your whole life. You need you to eat 3 mountains.
Yeah, start eating gravel.
We're out of here. We're
Couple
back
bricks.
in a minute and a half. We'll talk sports. But that is something that's actually happening. You guys should look into it. Somebody give us an actual answer.
Yeah, please.
We're
The Earth
worried.
is allegedly spinning faster than it's ever spun, and I want to know why. and how we can stop it. And has that been potentially a part of a lot of the other stuff going on?
Yeah. Is that why there's so much goddamn pollen and ragweed right now?
Yeah, because they're getting like whenever you're blowing a daffodil or whatever.
Exactly.
Dandelion.
There it is. This show sucks, but we bring up valid questions.
Goddamn right.
Someone's got to answer them.
All right, we're back in a minute. Hour 2 is going to have a lot of NFL talk because there's a lot to talk about. Sean McVay wide open in an ESPN article with Seth Wickersham. Awesome. Can't wait to read some of those quotes. Hard Knock starts tonight. Shaquille Leonard of the Colts, almost defensive MVP, has not practiced yet, and he's going to miss games. That came out of nowhere. Right kick directly to the taint yesterday when I saw that. Hope he's okay. And there's more to chat about, including the Bengals Stadium getting a new name.
Ooh.
They got a sponsor. For the first time in the history of business, sponsoring their stadium because they know they're going to have to pay Joey fucking Burrow, and they're building an indoor facility. Massive hour 2 on the other side. We'll see you in about 32 seconds.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this glorious, hardworking Tuesday, August 9th, 2022 of Sports Conversation begins right now.
Here we go at it, baby.
Here we go at it, baby, into another hour of incredible, riveting sports talk. Last hour, we talked to Charania, the insider for the Insider of the Association, about all the things happening around the Brooklyn Nets and the NBA as a whole. This is normally their offseason, so he had a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He was kind of kicking back, relaxing a little bit, utilizing a fork to eat some oatmeal. I mean, he is not normally in the game as much as he is in the game in this particular time of the year, but the NBA is still cooking, mostly because Kevin Durant told the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, it's either me or the fucking head coach, Steve Nash, and the GM, Sean Marks. And then hours later, the owner, Joe Tsai, said, yeah, I'm with the GM and the head coach publicly, so Kevin Durant now wants out, still wants out. It's not going to get better, but that is worthy of a conversation because Kevin Durant is fucking Kevin Durant.
Beast.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
Maybe going to the Boston Celtics. It was a good conversation. This hour, we got a lot of NFL stuff to catch up on, and we're doing that alongside the Talks the Table at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor, and one half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs, and joining us live from Manatee in Ohio, a man who I can't wait to hear his thoughts on the new Big Ten TV contracts.
Yeah, mega deal.
Mega deal. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion for the Ohio State, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, and COVID survivor, Aaron James Hawk.
Yay!
How you doing, AJ?
Oh, I'm doing great. I felt it too. This earth is sped up, man. We gotta figure it out.
So I didn't even know that was potentially happening, and I would have calculated for that whenever I went up to the top rope to jump off to the side for the Swanton Bombini. But now that I'm learning that literally what I was standing on was trying to move out from underneath my feet faster than it ever has in history, I mean, it makes a little sense. Maybe I give myself a little forgiveness for that entire thing happening.
Absolutely.
Jesus. Why is it happening, AJ? We'll start with you, I guess, and that's how we'll start this hour.
Is it COVID related?
All right.
Whoa.
Well,
Okay, pal.
not well, allegedly.
Like did that somehow speed it up?
AJ Fauci over here.
Well, we don't know. That's what I was asking him. Maybe he did some research, not as much as Fauci, obviously. But Bill came in with a new article he read from TMZ this morning that really brought a positive spin on the entire place. And we appreciate Bill for that.
Yeah,
thank you, Bill.
Bill.
Bill took time out of coding YouTube and posting videos on our YouTube channel, which we appreciate him for, and following the gaming community to read an article that would, he would bring into our office this morning and just say, hey, none of this matters because, boom, this just happened again in a similar fashion as COVID did.
Yeah, it really raised the spirits, didn't it?
Yeah. We're having a great conversation, a lot of laughs, a lot of joys, and then Bill's like, hope everybody gets the fun in.
Yeah.
Read an article on TMZ. There's a new virus coming.
Fun's over.
Basically is what he said. It's like, whoa, Bill. Maybe that's why the world has sped up, but Bill is the most informed on some things. And Aaron James, sorry about that. You normally are all in on this stuff. You knew the earth was spinning faster, or did you see the repost from the internet, which we all saw, and still don't know if it's real or not, but we've just been running with the fact that it is real?
No, I'm going strictly off of what you guys are saying. And now I'm thinking back the last couple months and thinking, you know what? I think I have felt it.
We're part of the problem. Yeah, a little bit dizzy. The internet hasn't been as great. My phone hasn't been working.
My phone's been terrible, for real, the last 2 weeks.
Well, think about how fast those fucking satellites are moving by Earth now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having. How much you want these satellites to do?
We're going to recalibrate all
question.
of those things.
Jeez.
But no one's offering any solutions. I mean, we just did. Okay, maybe the people, like the scientists, offer some solutions on how we stop this.
So where's your sports stooges? I don't know if you heard it in the first hour. We landed on, let's give Dale Earnhardt Jr. All right, some Mountain Dew. Let's get his ass back in a car, and we need him just burning out against the direction the Earth is spinning.
Yeah.
So his car probably 800 ponies under the hood.
Oh, yeah.
800, 900 ponies under the hood.
It's got to be plenty of power to turn the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Or Junior?
Yeah.
Come on, AJ.
Yeah, Junior will be just fine,
Yeah.
fool.
This ain't about the car, pal.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
I heard Ty threw Carl Edwards in there. I think if you threw Carl next to him, then we may have something.
Hey, listen, however many we need. However many
Right.
we need. Jimmy Johnson not faring well in the IndyCar. He wrecks every race he's in. Let's put him over in NASCAR back in the saddle again and have them just peeling out for eternity. Listen, we'll give you as many Mountain Dews as you need, Junior.
Yep.
Whatever you need, Carl, we'll get you guys going. You're saving the Earth. That's us sports people telling you scientists, here's an option.
That's right.
Slow down the Earth and stop affecting all of us. It's been hot as fuck in Indiana the last 3 weeks.
To help, I do think Junior needs to be in his number 8 Budweiser car. He doesn't need to be in his 88, okay?
Okay, throwback.
Yeah.
All right.
OG. And we have a plan B. Like, we have a plan A and a B. Like, come on.
Parachute.
Step parachute and
Put
then
parachute on the
Chestnut
car.
just eating dirt.
gravel. And
Oh, yeah, so it's not as aerodynamic.
Exactly.
So if we make Earth less aerodynamic, because every time I see a photo of it from space, it's this perfect sphere.
Like a marble.
If you get Joey Chestnut to eat out a slice, that's naturally going to bust down the aerodynamicness.
Dynamicity.
Dynamicity. Dynamicity, and it's going to slow down. There's 2 answers. You're welcome. We got Joey Chestnut, greatest eater of all time, and fucking Junior.
Yeah.
And we are trying to fix this problem. Nobody else is, and that's a problem, AJ. That is what we've been saying.
Hey, I guess you guys are giving solutions. It's true. Most people just like to complain, and they don't offer any solutions. So I guess you're one up on everyone else.
Well, we're trying. That's what this show's trying to be. And joining us now, we have a solution for our we are not talking to a quarterback for the Houston Texans problem.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We had that problem for a long time.
Yeah, we did.
And then all of a sudden, this guy drops into the scene. Last year, we got a chance to chat with him. And we talked to him as if we're like amazed because I'm not sure anybody outside of the Texans organization, Stanford, and this guy's friends knew how good and how quick he was going to get acclimated to NFL football. Not being chatted about enough, Kyle Van Noy actually said, I'd like to give a shout out to a young quarterback that has really impressed me with his knowledge and how quickly he's become an NFL player, and that's Davis Mills in Houston. Other players are saying the same thing. We got to watch him perform and chat with him. We learned his name, although giving him a nickname in the process, which I'm sure he doesn't love. Joining us now, starting quarterback for the Houston Texans, ladies and gentlemen, Davis Dougie Mills.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on again.
Hey, people are calling you Dougie, I heard. Is that real?
I've heard it bounce around a couple times.
Hate it? Hate it?
I don't mind it. It comes from good people.
Okay.
Okay,
Dougie!
Dougie!
Hey, we're a big fan, Dougie. That mustache looks fantastic. How's training camp going? How are the vibes down there, pal?
I appreciate it. Everything's going well. Trying to beat the Texas heat. I think we're ready to get rolling. These preseason games are coming up quick, so the guys are ready for it, and we're excited.
Obviously, going into year 2 here, a little bit more comfort. Not granted, new head coach, but you still got pep around. There's still a lot of the normalcy, I think, around the building. Last year, expectations outside of Houston were not high. You guys came in and outperformed them. Obviously, still have a lot of room to go. But how do you feel coming into a second camp knowing you're the guy? That has to be pretty empowering. And have you experienced that at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think coming into it, knowing you're the guy, the assurance you have from your teammates and the coaches in the offseason kind of allows you to go out there and play a little more free. Obviously, second year in the league, you pick up on a lot of things that you didn't know beforehand. So kind of getting thrown in there early last season. It's kind of thrown in the fire. But as you start to settle down, you're able to get comfortable and go out there and play confident. I really feel like I've done that leading up this whole offseason, leading into camp. So I feel like I'm in a really good spot right now, and I think the team's clicking, so we're excited for it.
Hell yeah.
What's it take for you to get comfortable out there when you're thrown in there and it probably seems like it's going 1,000 miles an hour at first? Like, is it one throw? Is it one play or something that you see that makes you kind of settle in?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's that once that first ball gets released out of your hand, you can tell pretty early on if it's going to be a good one or bad one. And then, like a lot of people always say, is that first time you get hit or take a hit, you kind of get settled into the game and shake a couple things off and get ready to roll. But I mean, the biggest thing, quarterback-wise.
Dougie, you need to fucking get rid of that. Okay, Joe Burrow had that. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Joey Burrow. He needs to get hit, and he's in there. Andrew had the same thing. Like, he wakes up or whatever.
He's got his teeth knocked out.
Hey, Dougie, we don't need you. Okay, we need you punch yourself in the face maybe before. Okay, you know what I mean?
Just we're working on it.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm sorry, but you said the most important part. Go ahead. I think you were about to get into the mental part.
I was gonna say basically just going out there and having an idea of what you're going to with certain play calls and like what you're attacking on the defense, being able to anticipate that, just going out and reacting rather than just guessing or trying to think through things out on the field, because you're going to be too slow when you have to do that.
I think AJ was also trying to hit on a broader point. Was there a moment last year during the season, a play, maybe you read what was going to happen and you were like, all right, I'm starting to get the hang of this? Because Patrick Mahomes didn't come out until like 2.5 years after he was in the league, and he said, I just started understanding NFL defenses like midway through the year last year. Was there a moment last year where you thought you were maybe catching up to what was going on, or are you still kind of going through the disguise and NFL defenses are much different than college defenses phase, you think?
I mean, I don't know if there's any key moments. I think the low point was the Buffalo Bills game early in the season where I thought I was seeing certain things and ended up being the exact opposite, and I was giving the ball away. But I think once I went in there later in the season, you're able to kind of pull from the reps earlier in the season where you're seeing things that defense are trying to do disguise-wise, and just go out there and attack. And, I mean, really just see the space that defenses are giving up in coverages or in man, and really attack that and letting your playmakers on the edge win for you.
I remember when Pep came to Indianapolis, Luck was here too, and Luck, obviously, you Stanford guys have massive brains. I mean, massive brains. You're in your own way. You're unique. I think you're different than the super smart schools. I think Stanford people are Stanford people. I think Stanford people understand that. I think Coach David Shaw even told me that, where when they recruit, they meet a kid and they're like, you're a Stanford person. Like, you're supposed to be there. I think it's a certain way. So when Pep came in with Luck, there was a lot of conversation around the rest of the offense. I was like, hey, this isn't Stanford. Like, there's some guys here that don't have Stanford brains. How much has Pep Hamilton helped in this entire process? And what would you say about him being around you now for 2 years in that team as almost a staple almost of you guys going forward with Lovey?
Oh, I mean, it's been great. I think Pep, I mean, when we're installing the stuff now, he's still pulling up that old indie film with Andrew at the helm. And
smart.
I mean, it's exciting. A lot of success in his past, and I feel like he's going to put everyone in really good situations and really good spots for themselves to kind of execute at their highest level in that regard. And then, I mean, it shows a lot of confidence with him and Lovey stepping up into the new roles. I think the team has a really good mindset and everyone's confident moving forward. I think we have a lot of really good pieces around the team that we know we're able to go out and perform. And I mean, we're excited and itching at the bit for that first week.
Itching at the bit.
Do you have any kind of any plan for what your play time might be throughout these preseason games?
Not yet. I'm sure we'll get sorted out.
Do you want to play?
Yeah, do you want to? And this, you just said that you like to get hit though too, so maybe they shouldn't. You know what I mean? Maybe you shouldn't be.
Play as much as possible without getting hit. But I mean, it comes with it. But yeah, I mean, every rep's a valuable rep, and I mean, the more I can play, the better.
Training camp, every period is you treat it by itself? Like, are you trying to, do you have mapped out goals for this season and for training camp, or is it just you just worry about the day in front of you and just kind of keep it moving?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's day to day. Obviously, you get kind of built in the schedule once you get more into the game weeks where you're knocking off different installs and game planning things day to day, whether it be third down, red zone, stuff like that. But right now it's kind of day by day, period by period, play by play throughout practices, making sure we're going through and being clean on our installs and really finding out what plays we like heading into the season so we can get back to our foundation.
You have a solid memory, huh?
I think so.
Like photographic?
I piece things together. I wouldn't say it's perfectly photographic because I feel like I try to, when I go out there, delete as much as possible so I can have the least on my plate and keep it simple. But, I mean, I think I remember some good stuff.
It feels like, and I might be mistaken here, but I've got an opportunity to watch very good football players play from pretty close up. That is like the most important thing. Right? I feel like the mental is a big deal. That's why Mac had success because it feels like he was able to pick things up. Joey Burrow feels like he had success early. Patrick Mahomes had success early because they were able to get in there. Do you sense that? Like, okay, I can make every throw. Is there a moment where it's like, I know my brain can keep up, my body can keep up? Or did you come into the NFL knowing you were going to be an NFL guy? Was there anything that like happened that made you go, okay, I'm going to be able to figure this out quickly? Was there ever any worry about not being able to pick up an NFL offense? I mean, probably never, right? You're a fucking brainiac of a human.
No, I mean, I think I've always been extremely confident myself. I was told at a young age, basically, there's a fine line between confident and cockiness, and you want to be dancing on it. Obviously, you want to be on the confident side, but I mean, I've always had full trust in my abilities, and I'm ready to just go out there and perform and show everyone what I can do.
Baseball player, any other sports?
I played football, basketball, and baseball growing up. And got a black belt in Choi Kwon Do at a young age. What? A little bit of everything.
What? So you
in what?
Taekwondo.
Choi Kwon Do. It's a Korean form of martial arts.
What is it? Strikes, throwing?
Troy Kwon Do?
Choi Kwon Do, yeah. Look it up.
Troy Kwon Do?
Yeah, read a book, AJ.
Is that what you're saying? Troy Kwon Do?
Choi.
Choi.
CHOI. Yes.
Strikes, throwing, leverage. What is it?
A little bit of everything. Self-defense, discipline. But yeah, you had to memorize a bunch of. No, not anymore.
Smart. When you retire, though.
Never lose that black belt.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Black belt's a big deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have to walk through and they just beat the shit out of you with that thing? Is that happening?
Punching through boards, throwing ninja stars, a little bit of everything.
From throwing ninja stars to throwing dukes in NFL games. Look at the headline there. Pretty good basketball player, I assume. Yeah, could have been good at any sport. Good at every sport.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty cool. I played on a pretty good AAU team growing up. Had a couple of top 10 NBA draft picks that I played with. I think the best we ever got was maybe 4th in AAU nationals.
Jeez. Who was on the team?
Wendell Carter, Colin Sexton, Connor Hayward, and then a bunch of other kids who either played D1 football or basketball.
Were you a dog out there? Are you dunking on folks, or what are we shooting? What type of game did you?
Shooter, slasher, defense, a little bit of everything.
Oh, you're smacking the floor.
Wow.
Yes. Setting the tone.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor, your question for Dougie Davis Mills.
Yeah, Dougie, Pat mentioned at the start, I got another story behind the mustache because it looks like after practice you go to like a small town in Texas and you're the sheriff of the town. Yeah. How did that come about, and was this like a plan going into training camp?
Get that cowboy hat.
No, it was a split-second decision while I was shaving. I think my facial hair kind of goes in cycles. Like, I get sloppy and let it grow out, and then decide either shave it off or shave everything but the mustache. And this was the leave the mustache phase. So we'll see how long it lasts.
Do you guys have gong shows or rookie shows down there at Texans camp? And is anybody impressed?
There's been a couple good ones. I think right now Damian Pierce might have the award for the rookies.
Sing? What do you do?
Singing and dancing, yes.
Wow. Go ahead, AJ.
Can you recreate that for us here?
I cannot.
Oh, that's a shame. What's Lubby like? Lubby came into the office. I wasn't in there, but he came in there and drained a bucket and walked off and seemed super cool. When I talked to different people that played for him, seems like a guy that really likes to take care of his players, but also holds you accountable. Is that kind of what you've seen?
Definitely. I mean, I think we all have a lot of confidence in him. I mean, he has the past that we can look to and see that he's had a lot of success. And I mean, we're really just feeding off of that. I think he has a really good control of the team right now. Obviously, he takes care of the players. And I mean, we're really excited to get rolling. I think he's going to handle all the stuff on defense, and kind of Pep handles the offense, but they're both kind of pushing us in the right direction. We're, I mean, pumped up to get going.
There's a clip from Hard Knocks tonight that is on HBO at 10 p.m., I believe, of the Detroit Lions. And it's Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn, two position coaches. Well, Deuce obviously on the offense, AG on the defense, and they're talking shit to each other. And I think Hard Knocks in the past has not fully grasped how coaches also are uber competitive and talk shit. So I was excited to see this clip, and also pumped that the coaches relaxed enough while mic'd up on camera to act how they always act almost. Like, that is something that Pep and Lovey talking shit right now. Offense, defense, are you chirping at all? Is there any chatter at the Houston Texans practice, or is it, hey, we're all professionals here type moment?
We're mostly professionals. Something will come up at some times because, I mean, obviously everyone's uber competitive and full of testosterone pumping up. But I mean, everyone's excited, get going, especially in that first padded day was something we always look forward to, and they got a little heated, but it was all in good fun.
Yeah, it happens everywhere, and it used to be reported as like a terrible thing. Oh, the coach has no control. Now, I don't want to say it's because of shows like this, but now it's like, yeah, the boys want to fight a little bit. I mean, you gotta let it happen.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta let it happen. Pep Hamilton still in shape? Is he getting a little fat?
No, he's walking around with his aerobics band, riding his bike. I mean, staying in shape, doing push-ups in meetings.
Yeah.
It's the same old Pep.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, because me and Pep always had a discussion about who was faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I always told Pep, like, hey, your old ass, okay, is going to get outrun by a punter. You just need to deal with that, Pep. Like, that is something you just need to deal with. He always had sick J's on. His shoe game, always insane, always working out, super into fitness. I was just hoping he got a little fat, because I was going to take a plane right to your training camp tomorrow, and I was going to have a camera, and I was going to say, hey, Pep, let's go ahead and race, but it turns out he's still in shape. I will wait for him to get lazy. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Dougie, I assume it wasn't this way at Stanford because you have so much on your plate and so much shit going on, but this offseason was, I assume, like the first time in your life that you actually just dedicated everything towards football. Like, is there anything new you picked up going into this year, and are you, like, your internal expectations, are you expecting to make a huge jump this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm ready to make a big jump. I think just going and kind of kicking off on what I've already done and throughout OTAs and training camp, I'm really excited for what physically I'm able to go out there and do. I feel like I got bigger, stronger, and faster this offseason.
What?
Put a lot of work in. But, I mean, I think we're at a really good spot with the team and ready to go. But, yeah, I think this offseason, different than last year, you actually had a little bit of time to take a break after the year because, I mean, coming out of college, you go straight into combine training and pro days and stuff like that, so there's never really time to take a breath. And this year, you're able to sit back and relax a little bit and get a couple weeks off after the season, then kind of kick it back off and hit it hard and, I mean, get everything going towards OTAs and to camp. So
that's why that rookie wall is real. That rookie wall is very real for, all rookies, because it's the longest year of your life, and it's the most important one, and it's the one with the thing you've dreamt about your entire life has it in there. Because you have training camp for your senior season or junior season, whatever it is. Then you have your season. Then you have hopefully postseason. Then you have combine training, pro day training. Then you get drafted. Then rookie mini camp is that next week. Then OTAs. Then you have like 3 weeks where you're down, but you have to go back earlier anyways. Training camp, longest season you've ever had in your entire life, including preseason, and then you finally get a breath at the end of that, and you have no structure for the first time in your life. You see a lot of guys, fuck up in this particular time frame, but also a lot of guys get a chance to focus on different things. You were worried you had to get bigger, stronger, faster, or you think this is just natural evolution of Davis Dougie Mills?
I think it's just natural. Obviously, I think I mean, with the schedule and having some more time to just go in and lift and eat good. I mean, it comes naturally, but also added some flexibility, added to the golf game a little bit.
Whoa! You a player? You a stick?
Not yet. Just started taking lessons a little bit. Played growing up a little bit. I'm like a 14 or 15 right now.
So you'll be scratching like a year.
That's
the plan. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the depression hit me whenever he was like, I'm 14, 15, just started. I was like, this guy's going to be better than me in less than a month. I'm sorry. Go ahead, AJ.
Did you get bulked up a little bit? You plan on running the ball a few more times this year, maybe lowering that shoulder on people?
I like to get hit.
I thought you said I wasn't supposed to get hit.
Well, you're not. AJ,
no,
that guy's an all-time leading tackler for the Packers. Remember that.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, adding a little weight just protects you from the times you will get hit. I think I probably came in 5 or 8 pounds heavier than I was playing out last year. So just trying to keep that weight and make sure a lot of times, especially doing training camp down here in Houston, you want to come into camp a little heavy because you know you're going to lose 8 or 10 pounds every single practice. So, it's hard to keep on that weight down here. So
what is it?
Is it smart about it?
Is it like 100 with like 100% humidity down there every single day?
For the most part, yes.
Oh,
God. Luckily, though, we're practicing at 8 a.m. now. So, I mean, it's not as hot, but I think the humidity might be a little worse with all the dew coming off the grass in the morning. So,
listen, that's a science.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah, it is. But it's also a 6 a.m. wake up every single day. You're right into practice. I mean, there is obviously a lot of trade-offs there. I'm not a morning person. Now, granted, it does not matter because punt period's the first period, 5 minutes. All right. Sounds good. I'm in and out of here. But like there are some guys that are not morning guys, but their lives and their jobs are dependent upon them performing at like 7:30, 8 a.m. in these training camp practices. And I always remember being like, man, I am happy I am not you. Like, I am so pumped. But it beats the heat. So it's either one or the other. Then you guys just have all days. You have walkthroughs in the afternoon and then meetings afterwards. Is it a full day? How is the schedule of training camp?
Yeah. So it's 8 a.m. practice. You get like an hour and a half afterwards for either lift time at lunch and all that stuff. And then we start meetings around 1 or so. And then go meetings from like 1 to 5:30, and then have walkthrough at the end of the day to finish.
You guys getting better down there, huh? Let's go, Texans. Now you're in the Colts division, obviously. Sorry about it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Season opener.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
Where, you or us?
It's in Houston.
It's gonna be so fucking hot. Hey, Frank, Chris, get the boys in some garbage bags. It's 100 degrees with 100% humidity out there. Let's go ahead and get the boys ready. Last question for you here, Davis. We can't thank you enough. Go ahead, Tone.
Davis, Dougie, I want to learn a little bit about your moxie here, okay? What's your favorite route to rip? What's your favorite type of throw to make?
I would probably say either a big post or a comeback.
Hell yeah.
Really? How about you guys have nets down there? You guys throwing balls?
Yes, we do.
How come I haven't seen you've missed? You have not hit the net. Why don't you hit the net one time? Why don't you stop worrying about putting on 8 pounds
We
of
gotta
muscle?
hide the secret weapon from the media.
Oh, the Texans. Hey, you're hitting that thing though. Is that just casual, standard? Every quarterback does those drills, and is it become like a new thing?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's throwing into a net now.
That's more so we just do like little QB competitions after practice. We're not doing those too much in actual Indy drills.
Oh, that is strictly for content then. So the Texans. Give
For
us,
the most part.
feed us Dougie Mills, draining buckets, please. Good luck with the rest of camp. Good luck with your second year. We can't thank you enough for joining us, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Are you going to keep that? Or you said it cycles. You don't know. You'll get bored with it. And you'll do
we'll
something.
see. We'll see. I'm still taking opinions.
Keep it.
Well, we like it.
Keep it.
I need to grow it out so it can twirl up at the end, put some gel on it.
Oh, like Khan. Khan's got that.
Yeah.
So, and
Shad Khan.
Shad Khan. Tony Khan's dad.
Yes.
Shad Khan, can do that. Hey, maybe Burnsides too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, connect them.
Yeah.
We'll think about it.
All right, legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Davis Mills. We appreciate you. I like that dude.
Yeah.
I do too. Maybe Burnsides. I like how you think like whatever relevant show you're watching.
Hey, you know Larry Hall?
Bro, we're talking about facial hair. What do you even? Why you got to be like that? I'm just trying to call it by its fucking
I
name.
just watched the last episode actually late last night, so that's why it made me laugh.
Hey, good ending.
I'd say.
Unreal.
Unlike.
And then they show like a lot of it was more true than I thought. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like pretty much watching a reenactment almost.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think about, especially with the nibbling of the fingers part.
Yeah, that was insane.
Was that real?
You haven't seen it?
No. That's next on my list.
Yeah.
Oh, Ty, listen, I know you're a dad and you got a lot of things going on. And Iowa Hawkeyes football will not be played on ESPN at all.
No.
How about this, AJ? Listen, AJ, we finally get an
I was
opportunity.
going to say this. I was going to say this the other day. I was like, I don't know how many games Iowa has on there. What is this? What's the deal now?
We are finally getting an opportunity to do college games, on ESPN2.
Yeah, Kirk's boys. Can't wait.
Kirk's dogs, asswipe.
Dogs.
Jeez.
Why are you burying Iowa? There's no reason for that.
Kirk's I love Iowa. They beat us.
Well,
Hell yeah.
listen, Iowa beats a lot of people, but then inevitably they lose at the wrong time.
9-3, 8-4 every year, baby.
Yeah, it's
Hello, Citrus Bowl.
Boom, Gator Bowl. How you doing? And I played in the Gator Bowl, so there's no reason for me to knock it either. But it just feels like that is Hawkeye football.
That's right.
Always going to be good. Always going to be respected. Always going to have like NFL players come out of there.
NFL powerhouse.
Always going to be it, but for whatever reason, Ohio State's still in there. Wisconsin always ends up being almost a little bit better. It's a fascinating story about Iowa. But as Big Ten as a whole, this is interesting now because we kind of got to go back to really set the table here, AJ. So CBS was paying the SEC, Greg Sankey and the SEC, $55 million a year for the SEC coverage, right? And the SEC on CBS became a staple. It became an institution. It was a long deal was happening. That deal was coming up, though, and they were open for negotiations. ESPN wins the SEC deal. They pay $300 million a year for the SEC deal. So the SEC has to think to themselves, God damn, we went from $55 million a year to $300 million a year. This is a great deal. And CBS had to think to themselves, oh, we're not paying $300 million a year for the SEC. We just paid you $55 million. Get the hell out of here. So ESPN pays it. SEC goes to ESPN. ESPN has the Big Ten deal, has had it for a while. That goes up for negotiation. CBS goes, fuck, we're fucked. We lost it for $300 million. They're paying $350 million now for the Big Ten deal. So they're paying more for the Big Ten deal than were going to pay for the SEC deal if they outbid ESPN by $1 million. So now the Big Ten will be on CBS. I guess there'll be games on NBC and there'll be games on Fox. We assume there will be games on the Paramount network as well, Paramount Plus or whatever the hell it is that CBS owns in that whole thing. And if you're the Big Ten or the SEC, you got to be pumped. The SEC probably thinks they got to renegotiate with ESPN first year into a 10-year deal, but the Big Ten is winning in this whole thing. I mean, every game, it seems like it's going to be broadcasted, and it's not great for anybody that has a show on ESPN with Omaha, and you have a lot of Big Ten
So what about
ties.
Big Ten Network and all that?
Probably bundles, right?
Yeah, they still get games.
Big Ten Network, and then Fox. Like Fox always had Ohio State, Michigan. Where's that? Still on Fox?
Fox still probably.
Yeah,
I
they
think
get Wisconsin.
Fox always gets like the marquee Big Ten game on Saturday night. Most of the time, unless it's Ohio State, Michigan, and it's like a 1 p.m. or 4:15
And didn't
kickoff.
CBS, they're getting like for sure like the 3:30 Big Ten game. Is that what I saw correct?
That's going to feel different watching on CBS.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
that's kind of what Ty was alluding to earlier about not hearing Beth
Mowens and Dan Orlovsky,
call that noon game. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different world now. Every Big Ten game is going to be on TV, but this is 100% because USC and UCLA, allegedly. Not 100%, but USC and UCLA getting into the Big Ten led to these conversations escalating, I'd assume.
Yeah.
And that's because a lot of these people in LA that are doing these negotiations have a lot of ties to the SC and UCLA, and they're going to be able to get on the sideline, aren't they, AJ?
You think that's why it's happening?
I don't know, dude. That is
when are the schools going to have to give some of the players some of this money they're making from the TV deals? Because the schools in the NIL situation make out beautifully. They don't have to give anything.
Yeah, and they also get paid from these deals from the conference. The schools get paid from the conferences now for what these TV rights deals are. Will there be revenue sharing with the players? At some schools, maybe it gets negotiated in with the recruits.
I doubt anyone wants to be the school to start that.
But the school that starts that is going to get all the recruits.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you would think if
somebody would turn their back on every other. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like Jimmy Haslam paying $230 million guaranteed, telling the rest of the NFL, "Yeah, I'm fucking doing it because my team has stunk for a long time, and we need a new quarterback." I'm sure a team could potentially offer that to some of the stars. Will it backfire? Obviously. Will there be actual transparency in which is needed for revenue sharing? Probably not. Will it be a big clusterfuck? Absolutely. That's what happens whenever you get in a business together and it's that big, and there's that many people that have to see every file and every Excel spreadsheet and everything. Like, who's also going through it for the players? Yeah. Who's the accountant that's going through it? And how do we know that accountant, not that accountants do shady stuff, isn't on the take with the school? I mean, it's just, you never know. That would be a lot, I think. But you're right. That has to be the next conversation that comes up with the NIL deals. But I think this is great for the Big Ten, honestly. But we chatted about this, AJ. USC and UCLA coming into the Big Ten, obviously good for their TV deal. Because LA has a lot of people that make decisions, and humans at the end of the day are the ones making these decisions. The money is coming from a fund that they do not own. The money is coming from a place that they have no relationship with. Now, they will always try to fuck you over when they're doing a deal for you so they look better to their boss because they save money on the budget. But if they're getting rights to things, this is a monopoly money fund that we can just dive into. And it helps. It definitely helps with everything. Humans are making a decision. But USC, the more we think about this, USC traveling to, let's say, Indiana for a noon game in the middle of December. That is a 9 a.m. kickoff for those USC boys in Bloomington, Indiana, in 10 degrees?
Yeah.
So wake-up call in their time is 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. to get to the stadium that's cold as fuck, playing in a miserably dry cold.
That's hard to do if you're coming from Ohio.
Oh, That's hard to do for anybody. Yeah, let alone you're coming out of USC. You're a millionaire, right? These kids are all
Yeah,
millionaires.
you're right. I forgot about that,
These
too.
kids are millionaires. They're waking up 5:30 a.m. for call or to get to the bus.
In their sweet like rental house in Malibu, they're waking up to go catch the flight over to Indiana.
Oh, jeez. Like, this is going to be, that's a long flight. That's an early day. But, hey, getting paid a lot of money. Getting paid a lot of money, which I'm sure the players will think about whenever the schools are cashing the checks and building up their entire thing. I mean, has that been...
Yeah, do you think they could stack games? So, like, instead of doing this and going to Indiana, back to California, back to play Purdue, maybe, that they just do a week in Indiana
So
and just do online classes? Yeah, well, I assume.
Hawaii does this, right? Isn't that what University of Hawaii does?
Mm-hmm.
They might. I would not want to do that.
Never. Like Hawaii, I thought about transferring to Hawaii when I was getting those death threats. I'm like, all right, getting as far away from this place as possible. Get me to a beach. And then somebody talked me through like what it's actually like. Like, yeah, you'll be on a beach, but also you'll spend like 3.5 weeks on the road and like kind of, because then it's a 6-hour flight back. Your games are over there. It's a whole thing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds...
Sleeping on a hotel bed for that long?
That sounds incredibly inconvenient. Now, my college bed was not much better.
Yeah, but...
A hotel bed. But that whole schedule and routine I think, makes it very difficult to become great at what you do, I think. And West Virginia went to the Big 12. And that's like 3-hour flights, you know? This whole USC to fucking Penn State. Like that's
Rutgers.
That's a long way. Cold. Those are going to be cold games, too.
Cold.
Now,
And the other teams are going to be happy going. Like all the Midwest teams, they don't care. They'll go to Cali, cool. And their parents, fans are going to want to go see, hey, let's get some warm weather. This is cool. It's going to be a little different feel, I guess, going east to west than going west to east.
Yeah, it's a vacation going out there. Oh, we get to go play UCLA. Fucking right, dude. In December, let's go. It's going to be like 65, 70 degrees. We're going to be leaving with takeoff with hypothermia. Like that is, and this is just the human aspect of it. Now, obviously, Lincoln Riley will have those boys ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there will be no drop off of that kickoff being at 9 a.m. in the fucking 7-degree weather. There will be no drop off at all. But there's a lot of money in play here, but I wonder what the product will be for USC. They're going to get so many good recruits, they'll fucking be good.
Mm-hmm.
But that is going to be a story that I can't wait to kind of talk about.
There's also no escaping that. Like every school you would go play to in November or December, like conditions are going to be similar. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be windy. There might be snow or flurries. Like it's not like you're getting every once in a while, like, oh, you know, yeah, we're playing in Utah or whatever, and it's not terrible, but it's not like it's going to be like that everywhere they play.
AJ, I don't want to speak for every football player because obviously, although I have a lot more tackles in the NFL than most people talking into microphones, I am not a guy who had to strap it up every single play.
Yeah.
The no snow, cold, dry, like that's the worst. Snow, much better. Cold with snow, much better than cold without snow, kind of dead air, freezing, miserable, right?
Yeah, it was always like, especially I felt like in Lambeau, it was always coldest when it wasn't snowing. Whenever it snowed, it felt, it was different. It was much better.
That miserable 9 a.m. their time kickoff in
That's
Bloomington.
tough. The only thing they have going is they won't play in December league games. By that time, it's the Big Ten championship.
Oh, that is good news, I guess, right?
First weekend, though, right? Or is the first weekend the Big Ten championship?
I think the first weekend's championship.
It might be.
But now it's bumped back. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of money. I think everybody's going to end up winning from it financially and exposure-wise. I mean, having 3 networks put your games on in primetime situations is fucking brilliant of the Big Ten to get that deal done and how they, set it up, the structure of it. The money they're getting from it, brilliant. But the functionality of it, I'm excited to see how it plays out. And how many more teams will join the Big Ten, you think?
I mean, how many? What are we just going to have 2 conferences eventually? It sounds like.
Seems like, yeah. ACC also on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
SEC and ACC on ESPN. So the games that we're going to probably call will be an SEC game or 2.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
3, 4,
What?
5.
Yeah, week 3.
Probably 6.
Maybe like an
still on it.
NC State Boston College game too.
Mm-hmm.
What's your problem?
I'm just saying, there's a good chance.
What is your problem?
Some Clemson game.
Why? Because you're a
NC
Big
State,
Ten. Listen
Florida
to this
State.
Big Ten guy. This Big Ten guy was part of ESPN's family for a long time. Now he just read that it's no longer happening. He's like, ESPN slate, shit. Just
I
top to
didn't
bottom.
say that.
You
I
just
didn't
said,
say
yeah,
that.
you just said.
The SEC games are going to be marquee matchups. You know, we'll get probably Ole Miss, Vanderbilt. That'll be,
No.
you know. I mean,
There's a Florida, Kentucky, week 3.
Oh.
Kentucky's good.
yeah, Kentucky.
And Florida.
Can it be Bama and fucking Texas A&M?
Well, that'd be
Can
awesome.
It be Bama, Bama,
Bama.
Bama, Bama, Bama. We might just do Bama's schedule.
Bama, Georgia.
That'd be sweet.
Alternating every week.
Us just screaming, roll motherfucking tide, and them having to bleep us every single time. Is that what that's? I mean, that's primetime ESPN, right? It's just Bama.
Oh, yeah. Now it is, yeah.
Isn't it? So those would be, because we don't know what games we're doing, obviously. We didn't know this was coming.
No.
We were actually talking a couple days ago, maybe a Big Ten.
We'll get a Big Ten game or two.
We have no idea. That's how.
Yeah, who could it be? I don't know.
It's going to be Bama. What are you talking about?
Sweet.
It's going to be Bama.
What's like Texas, Oklahoma going to be on? Because they're going SEC in a couple years, but like
Big
this
12's
year.
on ESPN too.
Okay.
As well.
Is it?
Is it?
That game was on Fox before.
Yeah, but they still have some of the Big 12, I believe, as well.
Here we go.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
So there's probably going to be a lot of sharing of some.
But then, like, what games are on Big Ten Network compared to CBS?
I don't know. Like
Because
Paramount.
that's a big deal. Like, the conference is getting TV. Like, the Big Ten Network is a big part of that commissioner. The old commissioner, like, put that together.
What is it, $13 million a year?
I don't know what it is, but I know the other places
talked
that,
about
like
it
the
last year.
Pac-12, whoever doesn't have a deal, it's killing them.
Was it
Minnesota,
13 million?
I think it's
Northwestern,
something
Big Ten
around
Network.
there.
Was it 11 million or 13 million a year?
Or is that how many the schools get?
Each school
Yeah,
gets
each school,
that?
yeah, from the Big Ten Network, because there was a thought that maybe a Big Ten school would be like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm going to play in the SEC.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm going to play in the SEC because the SEC was going to play football whenever Big Ten said we ain't playing football
Yeah.
because Pac-12 ain't. We and many others wondered, like, Nebraska wants to play. Are they just going to say, fuck it, we'll go play in the SEC for 1 year? And then it came out, well, then they would be forfeiting whatever the Big Ten Network's check would be for them each year that every team or every school receives. $11 million doesn't sound like enough for us to care.
I think it was like 60 some.
Yeah.
It was like 30 to 60 in that range. It was a decent chunk.
It was a lot of money. And that's what you're saying is like the Big Ten Network actually carries a lot of weight in Big Ten world.
Yeah, and then like SEC Network, it's a big deal for them. I just hear different college people, like pundits, talk about the commissioners from the Pac-12 or wherever that don't have a TV or don't have a very good TV deal. Like they are jealous of like SEC Network, Big Ten Network.
This is a hell of a deal. Both of these deals that just got signed, I feel like they're both celebrating at one point from $55 million to $300 million. Greg Sankey had to be like,
Nice jump.
Oh,
boom, how you doing?
job.
How many years though? How many years ago did they sign the $50 million a year?
Probably 10.
Okay. I mean, yeah, good, nice little jump, huh?
Similar to what it is now, like a 10-year deal, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10-year, $300 million per.
Well, and talking about the Pac-12, like how far behind is Oregon from leaving the Pac-12 now? Like, because they're kind of the last school over there.
That's worth a fuck?
Yeah.
Are they going to be trying to become independent? No offense to any of those schools.
No, Utah too. Utah won it. They won the Pac-12 last year, so
National appeal, Utah? I don't know.
I don't think so.
What about West Virginia? Where's West Virginia going?
Well,
You guys want us?
When Graham Harrell leads
Yeah,
into a
they
national
should.
championship, they can pick their goddamn conference.
I heard the Big Ten didn't want us whenever we were up for sale potentially after the Big East won, because whoever was running that one.
I would imagine
fucking
the Big
doofus.
Ten would want WVU right now.
I don't think you guys wanted us academically. I think it was an issue.
ACC, right? Wasn't it? They're like prime for the ACC because they're by all those schools.
Yeah, and something happened there too.
They would rather go to the ACC, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, not with Dabo.
The Big Ten's going to stand pat after getting these two until they could potentially get Notre Dame. I think that's all they care about.
And
now
then
at
Notre
this
Dame
point.
can go ACC, they can go Big Ten. Notre Dame has been able to build up a brand that's big enough. Now, there's a lot of eyes there on Marcus, though, if he's going to be I mean,
I'd say it's a tough gig, tough place to win, man.
that's like
you got to win every game.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on the line.
Oh, yeah. And I think they
Good luck, dude. Hey.
Yeah.
Good luck out there, Marcus.
They opened the season, I think, at Ohio State this
Yeah.
year, too. So it's like,
You
hey.
going to be here?
I'll be there. Yeah, we're having like a reunion, a national championship reunion. So I'll be there.
Oh, Notre Dame's fucked.
They're dead. Hey, listen, don't have that guy running with the thing run down those steps.
That's right.
Oh, he is. He will.
No, he needs.
That's a staple.
Make it be
Well,
general.
he needs to fucking make sure he keeps
Pick
his
him up a
feet.
little bit.
Yeah.
Bob should put him on his shoulders and sprint out with that guy.
I seen a picture of Phil, Bob Schlegs, and some guy I've never seen before from the
Phil's neighbor.
The Colt
Yeah,
function.
Phil's name Walter or whatever.
Wayne.
Good guy from from AJ's Cult Gatsby event.
Yeah.
Bob had these like pilot glasses around his neck, chest all the way open, dripping in sweat. Schleg, same thing. He had shoes on, was dripping in. Phil had a three-piece suit on all the way up with his thing.
Nice.
Just all prim and proper in there. Bob is, as soon as, he's one of those humans, as soon as I see him, I laugh. As soon as I see Bob Carpenter, any situation, I see General Bob Carpenter, I laugh. I know he probably has very serious takes, And I know he changed the world. He saved football, Big Ten football more specifically. But anytime I see him, I laugh. And I always wonder, like, what's going through General Bob's head right there? You know, what's going through? Look at this guy.
Look at this.
Dude, just immediate laugh as soon as I looked at this. Look at Phil. Look at Phil.
Beast.
CFO Phil on the far right with an incredible mustache and still has his marathon body. Guy's looking good.
Yeah, he is.
He's prim and proper, but he's certainly sweating through his long sleeve there underneath his vest.
I'm looking at Bob Carpenter. He's thinking about Top Gun. Come on. That's on his mind. That's why he has those goggles around his neck.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes with some phone calls. General Bob bringing laughs. He doesn't even know it.
Beast.
I'll accidentally be scrolling through and I'll see Carp's Corner, and I don't listen to the whole thing ever, and I apologize for that. But I look at him and I just laugh and I go, "You're fucking right, Bob."
Serving his purpose.
And then I just keep it moving. I appreciate him. Will you please tell him that, AJ?
I will. Yeah, I see him pretty much every night at football practice now. So believe me, it is very fun and entertaining to coach with him as well.
Oh, he's coaching?
Oh yeah, we're both assistants for the team.
No, who's the head coach?
Another guy
Urban?
who played in college, a stud. Yeah.
Is it Urban Meyer?
No, it's not Urban Meyer.
I don't know if he was trying to touch back
Urban
to the
doesn't
roots.
have a kid. Urban doesn't have a 9-year-old on the squad.
Like
Well, that's what we were thinking, though. He would just, bingo.
Yeah.
But we thought maybe he'd just get back to the game.
Yeah.
Those little kids showing up at games.
Yeah.
Coach, what is this sign that we saw on Big Noon? We're sorry, Urban. We're having a breakdown. You did it.
Shut up, damn it. Kicking the kid in the fucking spine.
No, Urban, you came here not to do that anymore. Remember, you're supposed to just
shit.
You're right. I apologize
I
for
only
kicking
know
you.
one way.
Tell your parents not to sue me like that fucking kicker did. How'd that lawsuit go? Is that open?
You said yesterday it's still going on.
No. I mentioned that it had happened.
I don't know. What is there any resolution? What do we know?
Yeah, I think Urban's got to take him out on the town with his couple gangs of girls, and then they kind of just put their swords down.
Josh Lambeau is married.
Oh.
Okay, he's a musician. I don't know if he's looking to take...
he's a musician. He's a rock star.
He is
Like
very
Kid
talented.
Rock.
He's
He'll
very
hit the town.
That guy played in the MLS, played in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's a musician. He's very
Played in the
talented.
MLS?
Yeah, he's a goalie. Like, very good one. Very, very good.
Oh, yeah, and then they didn't put him on the NFL team that would make a soccer
Exactly,
team.
yeah. He was like, what the fuck? He was actually like, what are we even doing here? Which I can respect and appreciate. I mean, he should have fought Urban.
Yeah.
You know, if it was a real problem, should have fought the man.
Or at least, like, if he was lunging, he should have went for a single leg, got him on the ground.
Yeah, like, you know what Larry Fitzgerald used to do to people, media people, where he'd come up and he would hug your feet till you just basically fell over? I think Lambeau should have done that and put him in the ankle lock.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Instead, apologize
Tap
right now.
out.
Apologize to my hamstring right now. And Urban's like, no. All right, we're back at 4. This is the Pat McAfee Show. It's a terrible show. We'll see you in that. The Jacksonville Duval Jaguars are dead. And I think that is something that is a shame. But we should at least have a moment of silence, I guess, for the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguar squad. He chose one time not to fly back home with the team after a loss. Said, I gotta see the grand babies. That's right. The only babies he saw were those young ladies at the shop house that week. Couple fingers. Devil. He had to answer a lot of questions about that, but then he got back on track and started coaching football.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the fingers.
And they won. They won a game in London. How'd they win? It's because they forgot about the fingers. That's right. And then they came back to America. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And anonymous sources say, this guy fucking stinks. He's laughed out of meeting rooms. Everybody wants to smack him in the mouth.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Have a little mirror therapy, pal.
A little bit.
You stink.
You guys ever get yourself one of these? I didn't think so, you losers.
Hey, this one from high school, this one from college, and this one right here, middle fingers open for the NFL. If any of you would stop fucking me over.
Goddamn right.
That's what we're trying to get. Hey, you, defensive coordinator.
What's that?
You got any of these?
No, I don't. I don't.
That's why I thought you're a fucking loser.
I'm sorry.
You need to stop by the job. Anyways, they're dead.
WrestleMania with a victory over Theory. He is captivated. Oh, and a super kick to Corbin. Happy Corbin. And McAfee, Hurricane Rana from the top rope. And now Corbin set out of the ring. And McAfee surprising again. McAfee looking to put him away. Superplex. Of course, the rope's obviously very slippery with the humidity here. McAfee taking his time, going up to the top rope. Check this out. McAfee looking for the Swanton Bambini for the brand. Back to his feet. McAfee leapfrog over Corbin. Oh, looking quick for the end of days. Right hand. Referee Charles Robinson knocked down. McAfee landing. Payback for last night. Payback for last night. A blatant low blow for what happened on SmackDown. McAfee up over the top, shoulders down. McAfee got it. McAfee got it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat McAfee has done it again. You got lucky. Well, you shouldn't have talked trash about him, maybe. But for Pat McAfee, it's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. Last time I tried to drink on the job, you made me take a week off.
Yeah. Oh. Welcome back. Yeah. Let's get on track. Yeah. This dude's a sack. Yeah. A toxicity. Yeah. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. It is Hardworking Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. To my left, your right on the screen, that is AJ Hawk. AJ, how you doing, pal?
I'm great. What are you doing with that?
With what?
What are you talking Coach?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
What are you trying to do? Did you join the staff for the Houston Texans? Are you dancing on the sidelines with our guy Easterby?
Listen, I'll 1-2-step, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, crip walk through the world that the Lord has put together. But this is just a gift from the Houston Texans. You wouldn't know anything about it. You wouldn't know anything about it, AJ, huh?
That thing is tapered perfectly to your body.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a little large, don't you think? I mean, Jesus. That's why I'm getting on diet.
Yeah, is that a
Because
shot?
what you just said.
Is that a shot?
What's wrong with you? I guess they
Not
have
a shot at you, a shot at the fit.
This is awesome. Big thanks
Did
to
they
you.
cut the sleeves off for you?
No.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like it came that way.
Yeah, I think this is actually what they are.
Supposed to wear a turtleneck underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Because it doesn't Lovey wear the long sleeves underneath? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is what I'm practicing in every day if I'm a Texan, by the way.
Absolutely.
This is it right here. And I'd have tights on underneath some shorter shorts, and I'd have low socks, cleats, probably roll those shorts a little bit, get a good flare on them. Sure. And then I'd have one glove on, and that'd be if I was a Texan, what I would look like.
Nice.
Imagine it.
And that's why they sent it, AJ. So they didn't want me to be a coach. They wanted me to feel like I was part of the team because Dougie Davis Mills was coming on the show. We got it literally immediately after Dougie Davis Mills was on the show. Got delivered to the door. Knock, knock, knock. There's a delivery 3 minutes after Dougie Davis Mills got off. So we appreciate the Texans PR sending it, and we apologize for the timing. Probably got caught in one of the potholes out here.
Yeah,
good chance.
Probably did, AJ. That's probably the case. You like this, though, AJ. We could get you one, maybe.
He's jealous.
I do. I've been wearing vests every once in a while lately.
This feels soft.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect for the weather today, too.
They're
actually
warm
very
though,
good
man.
material.
Like every time I've worn a vest, I overheat quick.
It's because your core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. You got to heat up the core.
That's right.
Your beletas are the hottest part of your body. Really? So, yeah. And then from there, it kind of goes up and out. You know what I mean, AJ?
What's the hottest part?
Your beletas, balloons, your taint. Let's go to the phones.
Well, yeah. When you're a kid and playing, you didn't play football. In soccer, did they teach you to put your hand down your pants when it's cold?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's a football. Obviously, yeah, I guess every sport is a young kid in cold weather.
Why are you doing it right now, then?
Oh, they're right here. They're right here, but I could if I wanted.
Oh, yuck. Can you bowl?
No. He goes no
Oh,
holes.
I can absolutely bowl, but I
No
don't
holes.
have much
No,
passion
yeah.
for it.
Palming it.
He goes no holes, yeah.
Oh, no, I hold it proper form. I don't spin it, but I hold proper
Could you imagine him drilling the holes in the thing? He's got to fucking going sideways into that thing.
Dog leg.
Dog leg. All right, I need this one to go dog leg right, and this one to go dog leg left. And the thumb has to shoot straight south. All right, that's what we need here. I can't get my hands around it. Sorry about it. Hour 3 should be good. Coach Chuck Pagano will join us.
Hell yeah.
We got NFL news to chat about. We'll see you in about 6. You're the best people on earth. Goodbye. Let's see some phone calls here as we wait to get back on Sirius XM. AJ, quite an hour there. I like that Davis Mills kid a lot. How about him saying, hey, our team, we got a team? Nobody is talking about the Houston Texans.
No.
Nobody's talking about it.
He's in a good spot, man. I honestly feel like with the expectations and he, like you said, like he is supremely confident in himself. He has a sweet stash. Why not?
He said, do you have photographic memory? No, because I got to delete some stuff. Oh, so even saying you got to delete some stuff tells me the way you memorize stuff is at an elite level. You know,
of course.
Let me categorize. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, I need to get rid of some stuff every once in a while so that weekly stuff gets in there. It's like, oh, your brain's a fucking good way. And he went to Stanford, so obviously we should know that. But that is the separator of the quarterbacks in the NFL, I do believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, realistically, you can't be a good starting quarterback in the NFL if you don't operate like that. If you're not like insane, he's not the kind of athlete that like Lamar Jackson is. And I'm not saying that he needs to do that, but like I don't think you can you can be a starting quarterback in the NFL and succeed year after year if you don't have like a photographic memory like that or be able to like immediately compute shit.
I think you have to have an elite brain. I think so. You know what I mean?
You gotta have recall. You gotta have. I don't know about the photographic memory deal, but you gotta have recall. Like when you listen to quarterbacks talk about the look this team gave them 4 years ago, like that. When I talk to quarterbacks, a lot of them have that recall.
Well, that's what Aaron said on this show. Yeah, well, I saw that like my 3rd year. They were running this in Dallas, I think, and this was like last year or the year before. And he was like, I saw him running. I'm like, wait, I've seen this before. When was it? Oh, it was 27 years ago.
Preseason game in Buffalo.
They moved there. What's going to happen? Oh, he's going to go. He's coming. Oh, perfect. We're going right over here. And that's all happening in what, matter of seconds? Your brain has to be able to do that. Jesus.
What about Brett Favre?
Over and over and over again.
Well, Brett Favre didn't know what a nickel defense was.
Yeah, he just had a howitzer attached to his fucking shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah.
In a nutsack almost as big as Sean McVay's.
That's all.
Yeah.
We are talking about that in the next hour.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking wait to talk about Sean McVay's ESPN article.
Incredible.
I don't even want to dive into it right now because it deserves a good 5 to 10 minutes of Sean McVay being a guy. Have you heard this?
I've only read a few of the clips. I haven't read it.
Well, certainly that's how we're going to cover it. We've
That's
only.
what I'm saying. I have not sat and read the whole thing. I would like to. I've seen little clips.
So numerous people in the office have read through the article and sent them in. Sean McVay is a G.
Yeah, big time.
His house sounds pretty sweet.
House sounds awesome. His old house was also good, but, couldn't take the pool basketball hoop in a new
That's
one.
right.
You're going to be a little bit more of an adult. It was interesting because Seth Wickersham, the man who wrote the article, like lived with him, studied him, and then wrote this thing, and it's like thousands and thousands of words. But it's a full diatribe and breakdown of Sean McVay, the human, the coach, decisions that have been made, and his wife's family is in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
Where there is obviously a war. I mean, it's a great piece by Seth. I think Seth Wickersham should be very proud.
Oh, yeah.
And Sean McVay should be as well. We'll talk about that in about 3 minutes. In hour 3, we'll also have Coach Chuck Pagano joining us. Hard Knocks is tonight. We got to break that
Here
down.
we go.
Yes.
There's a lot of good things that are
Best
about.
rookie show ever, they said.
Really?
Aiden Hutchinson, best performance ever tonight.
Oh, I can't wait. There's so much good coming in.
Probably shouldn't have done that, but
Yeah.
Expectations
Too
are
much
high.
hype.
That's
Too
tough
much
for
hype.
him. They said, I think he's Billie Jean, the best musical act they've had on Hard Knocks, they said.
Well, how about the guy that did the miking up thing? He said some of the best audio we've ever got from coaches, Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn yelling at each other. It's like, hey, there's a lot of great momentum happening right now for this Hard Knocks. Tonight we get a chance to watch it. I can't wait. And then tomorrow we'll overreact with the people that produced it.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're back in about 2 minutes. Can't thank you enough. See you then. Bye. And then. AJ!
Oh, no.
I just want to let Robert Mathis went down. We're going to have Let's get another one for him. Aaron went down. This is all your fault, though, because remember, you pushed everything.
Yeah.
Your towel was
I didn't move.
Can we please have a moment of silence for those two incredible pieces of art that I have been very proud to have on my desk?
I'm going to be sick.
Robert's left foot is gone.
Hey, he still gets to the fucking quarterback.
Yeah, he can.
Let everybody know he still gets to the quarterback.
We need to get
Oh,
some
the
super
hat is laid down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to debut a brand new Aaron Rodgers.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, he's right before calling timeout here. He's trying to take down the entire defense.
I give him. I'll take the under of 10 days before he's broken.
I'd like to shout out the artist that did this. The artist that did this, Big Sky Customs, Bob Bryant.
Thank you,
Bob Bryant. I'm sorry your work's gonna get broken on this show, Bob.
Dude.
It's going to get displayed on this
I know,
show,
put it
Bob.
on that
You're
whiskey
welcome.
bottle again.
Hey, look it. Rebound's taken to the Sami Zayn. Look at Rebound. Rebound has beat the hell out of Sami Zayn. Punches and bunches from Rebound. I think he learned something from Brock. And Rebound back in the ring. He's stalking Sami. Listen to this place. Oh, to the kneecap. Rebound's so active. Oh, look at this. Body slam. Rebound body slamming Sami Zayn. Rebound used to kick himself in the face. Are you kidding me? Now he's body slamming Sami Zayn.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. It is a super serious Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. We are covering sports in a fashion as if it was surgery. We will continue to do so right now.
Here we go, Atta Baby.
Here we go, Atta Baby. To my left, your right, a man who tried to mess up our call sign, A.J. Hawk, former Super Bowl champion, all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. The Toxic Table is here, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. You guys are really good at the sports talk.
Hey, thank you, Pat.
Hey, no
You
problem.
are too.
Hey, this hour's got big convo, doesn't it? Because Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer. Dahn! Cowboys, we're going to break down a tradition like no other. Ooh. We're going to break down an institution. We're going to break down a moment in time every calendar year. Now, the world's spinning faster, so what does that mean? We will adjust as the world adjusts in time and calendar adjusts, obviously, because that's what we are. You either adapt or you die.
That's right.
And we will do as such, even though we didn't create that line. I believe the Marines did or the military did. We will do as such as the calendar changes. But when Hard Knocks debuts, AJ, you know what that means, AJ Hawk?
What does it mean?
We're here. When Hard Knocks comes on and we get an inside look, last year was the Dallas Cowboys. We learned a lot about Zeke and Dak and Big Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
And we fell in love with the characters that are behind the helmets, but we also fell in love with the moment in time that is training camp. We fell in love with the moment in time that is the sport on earth that is bigger than every other sport on earth, officially diving all the way into the regular season, and that's what tonight's Hard Knocks brings us. Will it be about a team that is great? No.
Yes.
Maybe they're great this year,
Yeah.
but has been great in the past. No. You actually have to qualify for Hard Knocks by not being good.
Exactly.
The Detroit Lions are the perfect team for Hard Knocks to cover. They are the perfect situation for Hard Knocks to cover because there's inspiration, there's momentum, there's intrigue. There's a team that's on the precipice of building a new culture. And I'll tell you what, man, there's a head coach that is absolutely electrifying. I can't wait for tonight, AJ Hawk. Hard Knocks is going to hit it out of the ballpark. We already know that.
Yep.
They're going to strike out the side like they're Edwin fucking Diaz. Tonight, Hard Knocks does its thing, and I am so pumped for it, AJ Hawk, because it means we're here, and I can't wait for it.
I mean, football is, I guess, if you want to say this is the kickoff of football, the first episode of Hard Knocks coming out, there's a lot of a lot of high hopes for this first episode, don't you think?
Yeah, I assume the people at Hard
It's gonna
Knocks.
be tough to live up.
Well, I think I assume the people at Hard Knocks who we will be talking to tomorrow. We have 2 guests from NFL Films joining us who are part of producing Hard Knocks. So we'll get, they'll hear our full reactions and the world's reactions. And I know that they take a lot of pride in Hard Knocks. Oh, yeah. But they have to know, like, we seen MCDC with an open microphone at one press conference, and he gave us 55 clips. Non-kneecaps, douche,
Right.
Helmet.
the hell. I mean, everything. So the expectation is, like, if we're getting MCDC behind closed doors when nobody else is watching, like, there should be some good shit out of the night. I don't think the whole thing has to be a banger. We just need like 3 or 4 great moments from tonight's Hard Knocks, and NFL Film's going to hit it out of the fucking park.
I
dude.
can already see us saying that we didn't get enough MCDC. And that clip you posted last night, I forgot we have so many former players that are coaches. They'll be electric as well. Deuce Staley, Antoine Randall, Mark Brunell. So it'll be pretty damn good.
A lot of people from Philadelphia saying Deuce Staley content is something we need. And we're like, MCDC content is what we need, which leads me back to the point. The NFL Films are going to fucking kill it.
They always do. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they this year? MCDC, we'll see their first practice in pads, too. That's always a great thing. I would imagine Dan Campbell will be very amped up for that.
How about the up-downs that old number 50 did?
Uh-oh.
I'm betting that's in it.
Probably.
Gotta be.
Because he's hitting up-downs as well at the same time. What if they cut a clip from our show of us going, this guy is,
awesome.
and then it leads to Dan in his office. Tell you what, man.
These guys are right, man.
Man, we had high hopes, man. Well, look what you're doing. Look how people are judging our team now, man. Look at you guys, man.
Wonder who'll be crying tonight on this show.
Guy loves the team. What is Nick's deal?
What's wrong? He's passionate, Nick.
His whole team, they're always crying all the time.
They're passionate.
They love the game.
They love each other.
Yes.
They love the city.
Yes.
They give the shirt off their back and wear.
That's right.
Just win. You don't even do any of that. All you gotta do is win a game or 2.
Oh, it's just so easy, Nick, just to win a game.
Man.
They got a curse, man.
They got to pay Cal.
I think that's why it's going to be awesome, though, is because he is not like, he doesn't care that the cameras are there. You know what I mean?
Cameras
like,
are always
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't need to do anything to get great stuff from him. And if Dan Campbell's not on it for 59 minutes, we're gonna say we didn't get enough Dan Campbell. Like
Jerry last year.
Exactly. But I mean, shit. What's the alternative? No one's talking. Like everyone's excited for Hard Knocks, and it'd be easy, with it being the Lions. Like Dan
Nobody
Campbell
cares,
aside,
yeah.
exactly. No one gives a shit.
By the way, Detroit fans, fuck off, dude. All right,
What happened?
fuck off. Huh?
What happened?
Nothing.
Why?
Just in general. Just want to let that be known.
Yeah. Done with it.
What's it, Nick? You all right?
That was
Jeez.
awesome.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Fuck off, damn it. I get Detroit fans come after me for the way we talk about Detroit Lions. It's like you have not been in the playoffs for actually 30 years. Okay? You have not won a playoff game in 30 years. Yeah. Nobody talks about your team. We talk about your team every single week. You're welcome. And it's because you have, and by the way, for every bad thing I say about the Lions, you have some Lions mark back here who has access, who talks about it. So we love the Lions.
Absolutely.
We talk about the Lions all the time.
Too much.
But if we say, and ultimately, you guys are going to win 4 or 5 games. Like, hey, that's just we apologize. We do apologize for that.
And as a Lions fan, you got to have a little self-awareness. Like, I even wish almost that the Lions Twitter accounts could have self-awareness and be like, we won a fucking game. This is really cool. Let's celebrate like we won the Super Bowl. Obviously, they can't. But, yeah, you just a little self-awareness.
Yeah, we'll continue to talk about the Lions strictly because Foxy is here. Okay? If Foxy wasn't here, guess what? Us, just like every other show, would not talk about the Lions.
No thanks.
Ever. So I feel like we have been very supportive of Detroit sports by talking about them on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Detroit sports.
We even post them on the clips on YouTube.
Boom! We talk about the Lions. And by the way, that goes against every statistical rule that has ever been shown in front of me.
Bingo.
The Detroit Lions are not the team you talk about ever. We do strictly because Detroit fans have been through enough.
That's right.
Detroit fans have had to go the hard way here. They used to have a hockey team, right? One of the originals.
Yeah.
They won a bunch whenever there was only like 4 or 5 teams. They didn't have helmets or technology. Now that team fucking stinks too.
We used to have a rock star that followed him and speak to him in the locker room sometimes.
Kid Rock.
Went off to Nashville.
Kid Rock now, full-time Nashville. His bar's got a line all the way down Broadway every single evening. He's not even thinking about going back to Mom's Spaghetti.
No.
Is he?
No, he's not.
Posner.
Jeez. So we're just saying to Detroit fans, we apologize that sometimes it could turn a bit cynical. but it feels like your reality has sucked for a long time.
Sorry.
And we apologize that we have to be truthists out here. We don't want to be.
No, it's not our fault. We want the Lions to win 12, 13, 14,
14, 15, 17.
No,
hey,
games.
21.
Genuinely, if the Lions win games, no one will be happier than you guys in that studio.
Agreed.
I genuinely believe that.
Agreed. Especially when they tied They tied the Steelers last year?
Yeah.
Beat the Cardinals.
How pumped were we for the Lions when they tied the Steelers
No,
last
they
year?
tied Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
It might be the start of this year.
Do you
Still
remember-
Moxie.
Yeah,
Can't
that's a
agree with that.
competition.
Well, you guys
now.
would be happy if the Lions win?
See, don't tweet me. Fucking tweet that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, he's part of the
That's
problem.
right.
Yeah, he's part of the problem.
Don't we want like things to just stay how they are? Lions always stink. Browns always stink. Let's just that's how we like things. The NFL is good that way. Let's keep it that way.
Browns beat Steelers in playoffs.
Okay, that was fucking once out of fucking their entire.
Didn't the Lions ban Kid Rock from their games?
What?
Yeah,
No, just
Yes,
the
they
music.
did.
Just the music.
I thought Kid Rock banned COVID
worse.
from Lions games. That's what happened.
The Steelers fans are mad because the state of Michigan owns the Steelers now.
He's running for governor on what? I'm banning COVID from Lions. Allegedly, the other day, look at you guys, man. There was 18,000 people in there. We said there was 10 people. That's on me. The way they were shooting it had quite an empty back.
Yeah.
Okay, take a little bit on the wrestling. Let's go ahead and maybe get the shot of the crowd that we have. That's on me for not.
So wait, the footage they put up, they put the empty side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearly, there was nobody. But granted, that's like 65, 70,000, that stadium. So if you have 20,000 people in there, that's going to look like nothing. Like 20,000 is going to look like.
But at least show the side where the people are sitting.
But then you don't get Dan's face.
And you need the moneymaker.
True.
Man.
But I did think it was kind of condescending. Wow. Look at all you guys, man. And there's no one behind him.
Yeah, there was nobody. Yeah, so the clip kind of led us astray. Don't get mad at us.
Yeah.
You Lions fans. There was actually 18,000.
See,
What?
I hate this. Lions fans can't turn into this. Like, especially if we get
know.
good.
Yeah.
If you guys start hating them, that's going to really suck for me. Like, it's going to suck for all of us. Lions fans need to stay humble, need to stay self-aware.
No, well, did call
You can be
guy,
humble and still show up.
I called a guy a bitch made cat last night on Twitter, basically, because I had
Sometimes
fed
you
up
have
with
to.
Detroit people, basically. I say, hey, let's stop being a bitch about it, dude, all right? You fucking, your team stinks, dude. Yeah, they have. Now, they might be great. I don't know. This year could be the year. Hey, Bengals won 4 games last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They have a squad though.
I mean, the Lions are going to have to worry at one point, though, if they really want to go to the dance. How about this fucking squad right here?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Look out, AFC. We're talking about how deep the AFC is. Not one person has mentioned the Bulls from Houston.
Nope. That's a
Not
good point.
Not one person has said, you know what, the Houston Texans, they'd be a difficult out for some people. Not a single person has said that.
No.
Are you saying that?
After talking to Dougie Davis-Mills, are you not at least confident?
He's got mustache.
I definitely have a lot of confidence in what they can do. I don't know how many wins that means, but yeah, I have confidence.
Houston Texans, worst odds in the
I don't think that should be the case.
worst odds in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. Falcons at plus 25,000 right behind them. Holy fuck.
It should be the Bears, probably.
Whoa.
Hey, there's some breaking news. Let's dive into it. Roquan Smith has officially asked for a trade out of the Chicago Bears organization. He did so publicly in a screenshot of a notes section, very well written explanation of what has happened and why he has gotten to this point. He is representing himself in this entire negotiation and in business, which I respect. Hell of a football player, has been very good for a long time in Chicago. Ryan Poles, brand new GM who hasn't done shit at all as a general manager in the NFL, has come out and said, it's been a little difficult with Roquan representing himself. And Roquan's probably saying, it's been a little difficult dealing with somebody that ain't ever fucking do this before. But this is what Roquan Smith said in his announcement to the Chicago Bears fans about why he is requesting a trade. To the city of Chicago and all of the Bears fans worldwide.
Why?
I've officially requested a trade. Just writing these words is deeply painful. All right, so we're setting the tone early.
Yeah.
I ain't happy to be here. Okay, this is the reality of the situation.
Sad.
It's like Lions fans.
Yeah.
You ain't happy to be here. You guys ain't fucking won a playoff game in 30 years.
Yes, we do.
Okay, don't want it, but this is the reality of the situation. Roquan Smith would go on to say, I'm a kid from Macon County, Georgia. When you grow up playing football, you dream of making it to the NFL one day. However, playing a linebacker position, you never imagine getting drafted in the top 10 by the Chicago Bears. I'm a homegrown Bear. A dream came true for me to have an opportunity to put that Bears helmet on. Wear the same jersey that the legendary linebackers did. It's an indescribable feeling. Wow, says Roquan Smith.
Pretty good.
Walking these hallways the past 4 years, you can feel the spirit. You feel the pressure to live up to that timeless history, that great legacy. I dreamed of playing like Wilbur Marshall, Singletary, Briggs, Urlacher, Butkus. Since the day I was drafted, I vowed to play this position at a level that upheld the standard that was set before me, to uphold that respect and honor, and I have, unfortunately, Unfortunately, the new front office regime doesn't value me here. They've refused to negotiate in good faith. Every step of the journey has been take it or leave it, Roquan. The deal sent to me is, and that would be bad for myself and for the entire linebacker market if I had agreed to it. I've been trying to get something done that's fair since April, but their focus has been on trying to take advantage of me because he's representing himself.
Jesus.
I wanted to be a Bear for my entire career. Help this team bring a Super Bowl back to our city. However, they have left me no choice than to request a trade that allows me to play for an organization that truly values what I bring to the table. I haven't had the chance to talk to the McAfee family, and maybe they can salvage this. But as of right now, I don't see a path back to the organization I truly love. I hope and pray you all can understand. I'm deeply sorry that it has come to this. Sincerely, Roquan Smith.
Damn.
Love you, Roquan. That was what he posted on his Twitter requesting a trade, AJ Hawk. I think at the end there where he said, I haven't talked to the McAfee family, but they could potentially salvage this, is a negotiation tool, a leverage tool to say, hey, Ryan Poles, you ain't never done this before. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and talk to who hired you, pal, and get this thing done. Somebody that understands what I mean to this organization and somebody that maybe would like to keep me around as a fucking dog. You lost Khalil Mack. What are you going to do? Turn your back on me? What type of organization is this going to look like? So maybe this is just a public negotiation. Maybe this is just a leverage play, but also, are the Bears dead? AJ Hawk?
No. I mean, it doesn't look very good. I remember on this show when camp opened up, we talked about Roquan and said there's a hold in for Roquan. So I remember saying, well, they must be close then, right? Because if he was truly upset, it would be a holdout and he would sit out like they did old school days. But he's a hold in, and it sounds like it's been horrible since April, and it's only gotten worse since he's been there in camp. So yeah, like. What do you got a last-ditch effort to go up there to the owners and say, come on in, boot this GM out of here or give me a deal?
Yeah, I think so. That's why an owner matters, by the way. That's why the Packers thing has always been fascinating to me, because one person with a vision at the top, not only is it like business decisions and future plays and what you do, but player relationships ultimately end with the owner, because it's the owner's money, it's the owner's organization, everybody's working for the owner. So whenever you get seniored, like GM is obviously a player's senior, but okay, if something ain't working here, and I feel like I have the ability to do so, be who you can afford to be. Roquan Smith has proved that, I think, in Chicago, right? Zito, Roquan Smith has been a guy for Chicago.
Yeah. He's a dog.
A fucking guy. Be who you can afford to be. All right, pal, you're brand new here. I'm going to go right to the McAfee fan. That's what it felt like to me. And by the way, if that was the move, great business move, and Ryan Poles saying it's been tough to deal with Roquan without an agent. It's like Roquan just puts you in closed Sicilian, pal. That is checkmate, saying I will go right to your fucking boss, pal, if you don't want to get this thing done. Interested to see how it turns out. Roquan is at practice today, and I'm sure it's just not uncomfortable at all.
And then for the way he did it too, to be like incredibly eloquent and kind of just say like, hey, listen, I want to be here, like I really do, but the franchise doesn't value me. So like, no, I think. And I don't know, maybe Zito thinks differently, but it'd be tough to imagine Bears fans being like, fuck this guy. This guy's up.
With that message right there?
Exactly.
Yeah, especially a new.
Hey, that message never came out before. Remember, back in the day before social media, the only message you could hear is whatever the media decided to put out. Imagine in Chicago with the Bears what they would be saying about Roquan Smith in this particular case. This guy's representing himself. He has no idea what his actual value is. We're trying to build a team here. He's not buying in. Like, that would be the narrative. Now he can screenshot the notes section on his app and within 2 minutes put that on his Twitter and see you later. Now we all know exactly where he stands, why he stands, and how he stands. It's great for players, all of this. I'm not sure how this works out. He's a guy, AJ. This guy's a guy, right?
Yes, he's absolutely a guy. So, yeah, I would assume Roquan didn't want it to come to this either. He didn't want this to have to even do this, but probably felt like this is the last, like, people need to know how I feel. Like I really, really want to be here, but they're trying to screw me and also screw the rest of the linebackers around the league that are going to be signing deals here in the next year or two.
Him saying, like, I'm a guy, I'm up. If I sign this terrible deal, I fuck over every linebacker in
There's
the
like
NFL.
de-escalators. Didn't Rapport report that there's like de-escalators and it's heavily backloaded?
Yeah, so.
It's foolish. He's their best player by far on defense now with Mack and also Akeem Hicks they lost in the middle of the Tampa.
But if they're rebuilding, if they just want to move on, if they would like to rebuild and not pay him, like, all right, I think that you could just be transparent as well, as opposed to saying like, oh, he's been tough to deal with because he doesn't have an agent. And we're not behind the scenes. We do not know the entire story. He's there. Since April they've been talking, but I mean, just like the Browns, I do not like this type of stuff happening during training camp. Other teams are just trying to win. And I know the Bears are in a rebuild, new coach, new GM, new quarterback, new everything, blah. But also, this is not a good added distraction for when you're trying to build a new culture either. So they both would benefit greatly from either moving on or getting a deal done as you try to set the culture. What are you going to say, Z?
Wouldn't you want to, like, lead the market, though? Like, you don't want to be the next person to have to go the top dollar after that? Does that make sense? Because if it's the market's at 22 in like 4 years or whatever, it's going to be at like 25, 26. So why not just do it now, right?
What are you talking about? You're
Just
talking
for
about
paying
Chicago
Roquan.
paying him? He
Yeah.
wants 22. They offered him 17 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the market is at 22. Is that what he's saying and what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe so.
So you're thinking the Bears should just pay him because you're going to have to pay somebody who's good at that position 25
what,
probably
you
here
already
in a
have it.
couple of
Why
years.
not? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole entire business case study that we could probably lean on for why people choose to go the cheap option as opposed to the expensive option and where they want to allocate funds to and not allocate funds to. And that'll be how Poles has to structure his team. What we're saying, though, is if you don't want to pay him and he wants to move on, this being public like this ain't good for a new culture either, AJ.
Yeah. No, and something needs to happen quick. If you do want to move on from him, you probably should, so he can get to another team and start learning their defense, and you can do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, Ty, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that setting the precedent as a new GM that's like, hey, we're our top guy on defense in our organization. We're going to lowball him and make him look like shit. Like, that's not exactly.
And he's going to publicly be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how is that? Even if you are starting a new culture with new guys like that, no one's flocking to Chicago. Like, hey, let me go play for Ryan Poles or whatever they have going on. They're like, this is just a terrible way to start a new culture and everything.
We have to remember though, new GM, new coach. I've heard in negotiations before, a new GM has said, there's no loyalty between us. I did not draft you or bring you in here, And I'm not saying that's how Poles feels. I'd assume former player, he understands the value of good players and everything like that. But he probably also sees a way that he would like to piece a roster together. And Roquan might not be the guy in the price that he's at. I guess there's over $100 million available next year for the Chicago Bears, so they got a lot of money to build that. I just don't think this situation's a good one, and there's humans involved in influence that could potentially take place. So they both need to try to figure that the fuck out, AJ. They both need to try to figure that out.
I'd say so, and also, like, what is everyone around there? He's there every day. Is he doing walkthroughs? Obviously, he's not practicing, is he? So, like, that's got to be really awkward every single day. Like, what's he doing? What's he not doing?
Well, he's certainly telling the other guys how much he's getting fucked.
Yeah.
Which is what you do not want in the locker room or in the dorm or in the cafeteria or in the weight room. That is not something you want at all, Hey, Roquan, how's it going today? Well, you guys will get to learn someday, hopefully, that a good franchise,
Takes care of it.
that type of shit could happen, and that's not what you want as you're trying to build your entire thing.
Well, and it's crazy because last week or the week before, we thought it was kind of like they were doing right by him because they put him on the PUP list, even though he wasn't going to practice or anything because they were working on the extension. So it's like, oh, they're doing right by him, not making it so he'll get fined.
But
X
instead,
amount.
they were like, we do not want him in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, he should not be in the building right now.
Yeah.
He's very pissed. I mean, he actually took our last offer and shredded it in front of us and said, I shit out something like this. You're trying to kill me. I don't think we need him at the training camp or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and that cap space feels like doesn't help him right now because the players and Roquan obviously knows hey, we know how much money you have next year. It's not as if this is a money problem. You just don't want to pay me.
Congrats to Roquan, by the way, representing himself.
Yeah, and this is I feel like he got his message across of what he's feeling, and I believe him that he truly does want to be there, obviously.
Yeah, him saying that they can salvage it means...
That was cool, yeah. I mean, I think that was definitely come on now. Come on down up from the top. from the top floor and figure this thing out for us.
Let's go ahead and teach this child GM, okay, how we do business around here. Come on down. But if he would have said it's not salvageable, I think then Bears fans should panic. Him saying it is salvageable means money can make this. Listen, money can make this work. Money can make this operate. Let's see if the Chicago Bears do it or not, or if they move on. Could be good for both parties. Speaking of good for both parties, Bengals have a new stadium name.
Wow.
Paycor Stadium. Now, they could have went with Paycor Jungle, right? Welcome to the jungle. They kept stadium on there just like it was with Paul Brown. Paul Brown Stadium. Now it's Paycor Stadium.
Yeah.
Welcome. The jungle is now Paycor Stadium. Now, you're calling it the jungle still. Could have just called it the Paycor Jungle, which would have been a cool name. Paycor is
It's a bottom tier HR and payroll software company. It is not even in the top 5.
What's this guy's deal?
It is
what rankings?
It is okay.
Dan Zeus.
Better Business Bureau?
Well, you got ADP's the top 1 for sure. You got Workday, you got fucking Paychecks, you got Paycom, and then
These are all HR companies?
Yeah, HR and payroll companies. Okay, and timekeeping.
Paychecks.
Tone, did you work in this business before?
Yeah.
Who'd you work for?
I worked at ADP for 7
Oh,
years.
Wow, top tier.
Tone helped ADP get to the top.
What'd you do
5-star President's
Fucking
Club.
sales, pal. Don't worry about it.
I can talk. You hear him you hear that tongue just lay out how bad everybody else is, but ADP. Paycor's top 5. They have enough money to sponsor a stadium. So they must be
For
doing
like 15
something.
years, right?
Must be doing something right, AJ. Ain't that right?
Absolutely. Think of the pub. This is going to get them.
Absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
this is happening because they need to make money for Joe Burrow.
Yep.
They need to pay for an indoor facility. The Bengals are becoming open for business. They're running this like a. Let's go. This is good for the Bengals. Here we go. We need to be talking this up.
Paul Brown is spinning in his grave right now.
Why?
You kidding me?
Mike Brown said that he wouldn't. Mike
Yeah,
Brown
Mike-
said he wouldn't put naming rights to the stadium a while back because he wants to keep his dad's name on it. But then I think I did read where he said, my dad always wanted to do what was best for the team, and this was best for the program of the Cincinnati Bengals.
My dad wore the same hat, same shirt every fucking day. Okay, which is what I decided to do. Just like Warren Buffett, he ate the same Egg McMuffin every day and the same small coffee every single day. So we live by his traditional lifestyle. We refuse to spend any money on anything. We rake in all the profit, players play, and don't worry about shit. That was our mindset for a long time until we drafted a fucking quarterback. This guy took us to the Super Bowl. We won 4 games before then. We had no indoor practice facility. They were practicing in between lacrosse practices at the University of Cincinnati for the fucking Super Bowl. So we hit the lottery here. So we're going to have to make a little bit of money to hopefully ride this cash train all the way into the station that is long, long, long ahead. So we are going to sponsor the stadium. And everybody did a vote like, yeah, we're going to try to make money. Yeah, that sounds like the right move. I don't like that they put stadium on there, though. That should have been the Paycor Jungle.
You think they could have done that?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess.
Paycor name still on there.
I like that they're doing it. I don't want to bet. Listen,
It would have been sweet, yeah.
I like them making money to invest in the team, which is what it sounds like they're doing. So I appreciate all of this. Paycor's got all good money, right, too?
Yeah, has to. Well, definitely.
What?
Turns out there.
Turns out
I'm pretty sure those trick shot guys use Paycor for their.
Are you talking about like Acrisure?
No, Acrisure.
Oh.
Okay, not number 5 or 6 or 7 in their industry. They're number 1. They're the number 1 AI fucking facilitated insurance and financial company in the world.
Of course.
Okay, number 1, not number fucking 6 or 7 or whatever. They actually got their money from Abu Dhabi. Okay. Paycor is a cutter-backed program. So
I hate that our show has to be the show that just says all this stuff, but we got to do it. We got to do it because who are we if we don't?
Exactly. Got to peel back the onion.
Boston Cons, big old dongs. How are your thoughts on Paycor?
Speaking of,
I mean, I don't know.
relationship. You took Pete Davidson's slongs and you put them on your shoulders, and Kim didn't want them anymore because she couldn't get them slongs.
That was the day that he gets mentioned on our show.
Pretty crazy.
What happened?
Well, maybe.
Did she see the clip?
There's a chance.
You putting your dick on this guy with a mole.
What's that about, huh, Peter? I have children, and you're putting penises on shoulders? What is this?
Hey, they've been trending for like 5 days.
Yeah.
Kanye obviously was trending.
Was it a bad breakup, you think?
Soon they got a new
I
season.
mean, the Kardashians are involved.
Yeah, who
so
knows?
They ran out of content.
I assume they got a new season coming up.
it's on Hulu, dude. We'll watch. All right, you will. I will. We'll all march for it.
Marks.
Kardashian Marks.
I have not
Hey,
seen
do you
it.
get to choose, Pat? Do you get to choose who, like, what ads may run on your YouTube feed?
No, there's just some genres we're allowed to turn off. Why? What happened?
Oh no, I've seen a couple of different times now. If I try to pull up the show, the first thing that pops up is a live golf promotion.
Really?
I'm always wondering, like, do people say like, "Hey, you can or can't put this on my channel"?
I think we could turn off any. I'm not. I think they do have a. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back.
No Saudi companies.
They have a category of like, if you want to know. Jeez, is this that? We use that.
Commercial music, yeah.
Sounds like a talkie talk to me.
That is.
Yeah,
That is.
yeah,
There
it
it
is.
is. So
That's
we should take it off here. Shout out to that talkie talk. There is a little thing we can click that says, if you'd like to learn where every single dollar that has ever come that has supported this company, please click here and we will not run it. So we got to read through all the files of every company that's doing the marketing, but we fear there's not going to be a lot of companies left.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bye-bye,
After
Disney
a quick
Plus.
research. Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
Sorry, I guess
We're-
we can't do it.
We're back and forth with, the people's coach, Chuck Pagano.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait to chat with him about Hard Knocks training camp and everything he's got cooking. We'll be back and forth with that, hour 3 here on this hard-working Tuesday, August 9th. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man, I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What's that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm in here. Oh, my life, I'm Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm
clock. We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let... I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man. But on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. Assume Raj had to walk in there and do a full You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole
Curtsy.
Hey, we're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and Clean? You think she liked them?
Yeah. I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? That was spot on accent.
Hit that one out of the park.
Like, what if she's really dialed in to the NFL?
Today's show is sponsored by the best ticket app on earth and the moon. It's SeatGeek. This is your weekly reminder that listeners of this show get 10% off at the link in our description. Football season is so close you can almost taste it.
Tastes good too, doesn't it?
It tastes good, man.
It tastes like a little grape, man.
Drink it in, man.
Coffee, dish, man.
That's right, man.
Man.
City Field is also electric, man.
Man, hit the trumpets, man.
Concert season rolls on.
Man.
Get tickets to it all on SeatGeek, man.
That is not MCDC, by the way. That's actually just Ty reading.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't want the radio listeners.
He probably agree, though.
He would say this.
Yeah. He'd say, go to SeatGeek, man. All right? Get fucking hungry and go to SeatGeek. Man, just remember to hit the link in the description next time you buy some tickets for 10% off, man.
Thank you so much, MCDC, for letting us know that football is back tonight on Hard Knocks.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to the show. AJ Hawk to my left. That was Ty Schmidt. Connor's here. Tone Diggs is here. And then the boys behind the glass. And joining us from who knows where, honestly, world traveler.
Could be anywhere.
Where in the world is Charles Pagano? Joining us now, the people's coach, a man who's in football for like 30 to 40 years. Friend of the show. I was lucky to play for a team he coached. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano. You look good.
Now you look good.
Hey,
I mean, really good. The hair, tightened up.
Come on.
You had that vest on earlier from the Texans, looking sweet.
It was a double
You
XL,
look great.
Chuck.
AJ
Chuck
looks great.
Chuck, this was double XL. Chuck came up to me one day in training camp. Who knows what time it was? Maybe like fucking 8 a.m. or whatever. He goes, looks like you brushed your hair with a lollipop. I was like, I just woke up, dude. What do you? I got calyx everywhere, Chuck. All right, this is what us whites have to deal with. All right, sorry, I'll have the perfect hair. When you lost your hair, when you were battling, I know you were worried that shit wasn't coming back because you got that. You know what I mean? You got that perfect. Ooh, when the hair came back, how good of a day was that? That was a good day.
Yeah, it was a great day because you go through chemo and you lose your hair, so they tell you, hey, may come back, may not. Most times it does, but may come back a different color, may texture. Like my kids told me, like the back of it, I got a little weave in there, natural whatever curl, but it was like top ramen noodles in the back.
Oh,
but yeah, just glad it's back.
I'll tell you what, if you would have showed up with weave, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
If you would have came in with some weave clipped in there, that would have been amazing. You got a little bounce to the ounce. Hey, how are you, Chuck? How's life? How's everything? Chuck Strong, 10th annual smashing success, I heard. Continue to raise money, Chuck. How's life? How's everything?
Yeah, it was awesome, Pat. We, this, we coached and played for the very best owner in all of sports, yes. Jim Irsay. And for him to continue to support, this cause and cancer research, the guy is just, and this, he's just off the charts. And everybody over at the Colts organization, that whole entire family, a couple of players came out. Jonathan Taylor showed up. Michael Pittman showed up. Naheem Hines, David Thornton got those guys to come over. Chris Ballard and his wife, Kristen. It was phenomenal. And we raised a little over $2 million. $12 million total now, and most of that's. There's so much good out there, and so many generous people. And again, research, saved my life, and so it's very, very important to me and my family and near and dear to so many people there in Indianapolis.
Yeah, lucky to be a part of it in the past. I wish I could have made it. It's an amazing thing. I think those of us who have gotten a chance to know Jim and watch Jim, that guy's just walking around in public handing out hundreds to everybody.
Beast.
Like no billionaire does what Jim Irsay does. Jim Irsay does what you would think you would do if you were a billionaire. Like, well, I would just give hundreds to everybody. Jim actually does that. I would buy every piece of memorabilia that I think is cool. Jim actually does that. Jim had bought, I have an NFL team. I do, it's just, he's the coolest dude of all time. I'm happy he's continued to support Chuck Strong. And also, I'm happy the new age Colts seem to be coming in. That's a good generational, era kind of handoff there, and hopefully we'll continue to make the world a better place. Let's talk about ownership in Chicago now. You coached up there. You love the Chicago Bears organization. You always talked about the history, what it was like walking through Hallis Hall, the whole thing. This Roquan Smith, Ryan Poles situation. How do you handle that as a coach? If you're Eberflus, that's a business thing that's probably happening over Eberflus's head, but he has to deal with the player that is taking place. How do you handle that, and how do you see this whole thing ending, Chuck?
Yeah, Roquan's a great player, and you never want to see, they've got rid of so many guys, that roster's turned over, that building's turned over. Anytime you hire, a new GM and a new head coach, that's expected. So there's a lot of change going on there. Yeah, that is an iconic organization. The McAfee family is unbelievable. As a coach, you kind of stay out of those things. I mean, you can't be in that conversation other than say, hey, we got your back. We're supporting you. We want you here. We've lost Mac. We've lost this guy. We've lost that guy. We need you here, Roquan. You are, monsters of the midway moving forward. And so you just see more and more of this on day in and day out across all sports.
Hey, there's none of this, Chuck.
Chuck. One guy opened up Pandora's box, and now it's like, okay, Kyler Murray, it doesn't matter. KD, you guys were talking about KD, and all these guys, they've got contracts, they've got signed contracts, and they all they want out.
Chuck, it's hard to win a game in the NFL. It seems like there isn't a lot of blinders out there, Chuck. You know what I mean? Like the Browns right now, Kareem Hunt wants out of there. They got the Deshaun Watson suspension looming. How do you win a fucking game whenever that is looming over top of your team, you think? Whenever the teams that are going to win right now, guess what they're focused on? Fucking football. All that drama can't carry into training camp, right? Am I wrong in thinking this? Am I overreacting?
No, you're exactly right. AJ knows that. If you're spending the first 5-10 minutes of every team meeting, I walk in that room, down those stairs, good morning, guys. Everybody say good morning. And then you spend the first 5-10 minutes explaining all the distractions that are going on. What's going on with Deshaun? Why is Kareem Hunt? Over and over and over ad nauseum, right? Then you're not focused on, okay, what are we trying to accomplish today? Getting better, in all three phases. Here's what the day's going to look like. Here's today's situational football. So you're spending all that time, and it's impossible for those guys to keep the blinders on and the earmuffs on and stay focused on what they need to stay focused on. And it's tiring. Yeah. It gets so tiring, and you just trust your front office people, your GM, you trust ownership to get something worked out and get something done.
Chuck, how do you stay out of it? You said you have to find a way to stay out of that. I think a lot of people that haven't been in the NFL think, oh, the head coach can just walk up to the GM or the owner and say, hey, get this guy on the field. I need him on my team. And that's not the case. How do you, find that balance when you have this stud player? You want to support him, but you also have to support your boss as well.
No question about it. You just got to let them do their job. And you want that player on the field. Yesterday, you need them out there. You need them getting reps and doing all that stuff. They got a new system coming in there. So, you just trust those guys to get the job done. And you have, hopefully that, there's a great relationship there. The communication is outstanding. They understand how important he is to your future, to the success of that organization and that team. So they're working their tail off. Both sides are working their tail off, but at the end of the day, they're trying to get to a certain place, a certain number. And until they get to that spot where both parties, are happy and they get a, guy to sign, and, then it is what it is. So, hey, we're not going to talk about it. We need to focus on A, B, C, and D and then when it's done, I'll let you know.
Hey, everybody talks about offensive new systems being tough to learn. Defensive new system, is that difficult for some players? Like Roquan's a guy. Any system he's going to do well, but the turnover of systems on the defensive side of the ball, it's happening in Indianapolis. It's happening in Chicago. It's probably happening in other places that we haven't really tracked because nobody tracks the defensive side. How hard is that for defenses to pick up new schemes? Is it all the same shit with new terminology, or is there actual separators and differences between defensive coordinators, like vast differences?
Yeah, so for like Roquan, he's been in Vic Fangio 3-4 system since he's been in the league. And now Eberflus is coming in with Alan Williams, and they're going to run, I'm guessing, a 4-3, what Eberflus knows and knows the best. So there's absolutely going to be, from a terminology standpoint, again, offensively, everybody runs the same 5 run plays and 5 to 10 pass concepts. They just call them different things, and they get to them in different ways from a formation standpoint, motion shifts and all that, but it's mostly the terminology. And hey, over here we called it this. It's the exact same, formation, route, blocking scheme, protection, all that, but we call it just something different. So there's always that period of time where you're just trying to, compartmentalize things in your mind. Okay, this is what I know it as, and now we're calling it this. So you try to go in and say, be player friendly. Say, okay, we can adapt a little bit of your stuff, a little bit of our stuff, and try to meet somewhere in the middle. But ultimately, it comes down to what they're most comfortable with and what they know, and that's a 4-3. So there'll be a learning curve for all those guys, and even Roquan.
I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And whenever you think about training camp happening, Chuck, and I know you and your lovely bride Tina are having a great time, it appears. I mean, I've seen some pictures of you guys having a blast. You're living your life. The tan's good. You must be on the Peloton 3-4 times a day because you look like you're in incredible shape. You're traveling. You're seeing the family. Hey, there's generations of paisanos everywhere. I mean, you're having the time of your life. Training camp season, though, it kind of sets in for all of us, I think. And I was nowhere near around football as long as you were or AJ was. But even me, like once training camp, I get antsy. You know what I mean? Like tonight, Hard Knocks, are you going to be watching? Is that something you enjoy? And are you getting antsy like everybody else with football season being so close, Chuck?
Absolutely. I mean, you just can't replace what we got out of a locker room in training camp and the grind and the relationships. There's so much stuff that you and I don't miss from being in that building and the situations, but there's those relationships and AJ knows it. You just can't get that fix anywhere else. And so you try to live vicariously, through all these camps and watching inside training camp on Good Morning Football and Sports Center. But Hard Knocks, I mean, I wouldn't miss this MCDC spectacular that's about to happen for anything. I mean, just watching yesterday, I don't know who the player was. He had a player, called the team up.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, and so it's 4 or 5 days in a camp, right? And it's just training camp, and he's already in tears. Yeah. I mean, so he gave this speech, and everybody's either ready to, okay, cuz, I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm sweating, all this shit. That was a hell of a speech, but maybe save that, for halftime when we're Green Bay and we're down a couple tutties. That was one hell of a speech.
Hell of a
4 days in the camp. But no, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to watch Hard Knocks and watch MCDC go at it, because they got a lot of former players you guys were talking about and showing that.
Chuck, hold on. Chuck, watching that speech, dude, all right, it was an incredible speech, incredible moment. The way NFL Films cut it, I saw the entirety of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was in there. All I could think about, though, was me. I assume D-Butt would be near me. Vinatieri would be near me. I assume even your ass would kind of trickle out there. You'd be, all right, dude. All right, let's get, as he was going, I'm like, damn, he's really holding the team hostage right now. But he was getting so emotional, I think a lot of guys were like, all right. Well, listen. We have to have respect here. We appreciate it. But as that speech went on, I thought the exact same thing you did. I love that that's your take. Guys, 4 days into training. We got a lot more mountains we're going to have to climb. Like, we need this speech later, but that's what we kind of learn about a team, right? I feel like we can actually learn a lot about the Lions through Hard Knocks. Do you not agree?
Absolutely. Like during that little snippet, we found out, the guys that are like interested and the guys that are committed, because the guys up close in there, they started well up a little bit. You could see the, tears starting to come, and then the guys like yourself that are like just kind of interested. A lot of guys just kind of interested and more committed to like get into the showers and get my ass off this practice field.
All right.
No, we're gonna learn a ton. About the 2022 version of these Detroit Lions, Evan Foxy's Detroit Lions.
Here we go, Chuck.
Let's say, hey, Foxy's been on these Lions a long time. They've never won a playoff game since he has been alive. So maybe this year is the year. What do you think about MCDC's coaching style? You've been a coach a long time. I assume you've encountered a lot of guys like MCDC, a lot of former players. You were talking about Deuce and Aaron Glenn and Antoine Randall and Brunel is there. Obviously, players aren't always the best coaches, but it feels like they're all invested in this thing. How do you feel about what he's built up there from outside looking in? And obviously, that could change after tonight.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's obviously a relationship guy. He builds unbelievable relationships with his staff and his players. He gets that from having played, and I think that's why he surrounded himself with so many former players, because they know how to communicate with these players and how to build a relationship. And at the same time, once you have that relationship, the tough conversations are a lot easier to have. The one-on-ones behind closed doors. And I would have loved to play, for a guy like Coach Campbell. He just seems like a player's coach and all those kind of things. And Aaron Glenn running the defense, the guys that you mentioned, they're in tune, and they'll have a great pulse of that team and that squad. But ultimately, Pat, you know what it comes down to is a bottom line business.
Yeah.
And at some point, all the speeches. I mean,
wow.
I mean, you run out of. It's about winning and losing, and if you don't win enough games, I don't care how many times you cry and how many speeches you give and all that stuff. No, it's just the truth. I mean, I'm keeping it 100%.
So
I'm keeping it real. I mean, I tried that for a couple, those last couple of years, and it worked only to a certain point. And then, you go 4-12, and you're out. You're out. It's over.
Chuck, have you and Tina ever tried ayahuasca?
Who'd you say, AJ?
You and Tina.
You and your wife. You ever go to Peru and try ayahuasca or somewhere else?
No, but my middle daughter Taylor's a naturopath doctor, and she's dying to go. So she's heavy into, all the natural, healing medicines and things like that. Super, super smart, and she wants to go. I was on a bike trip, remember, a year ago down in Tucson, and visited with a guy that was on the trip that had been on that deal, and his tales of that journey, that enlightenment, and some of the out-of-body experiences that he had. Yeah. I'm like scared shitless right now to try that.
Yeah, you don't know where it's going. I'm pretty happy. That's my thing. Like,
and I got a lot of love in me already. I don't know if the cup any more than this cup runneth over. I mean, it's really interesting, and it says it can bring out all these demons and all these things that maybe you experienced as a kid. That you're not wanting to talk about right now, things that happened in your childhood, and like, I'm good right now. I'm in a good spot. I'm like,
yeah, they're stored away for a reason.
I almost made a hole-in-one. I sent you that shot, a hole-in-one at Holiday Farms.
This far? That was very close. How far was that?
140.
What was it? 8-iron?
8-iron, exactly. You know my game.
Yeah.
So I was out there with AC, and Chad Pulley hosted us, Jim Ratliff, a couple of AC's buddies. That thing is really. Have you been out to Holiday Farms yet?
Is it in Indiana?
Excuse me?
Is it in Indiana?
Yeah, right there in Zionsville. You know, the guy that
never fucking been. Dude, Chuck, we had to go golf. The Miz wanted to go golf before the American Century Championship. We had a SmackDown in Ohio. They had to get to Wisconsin, so they were driving through Indianapolis, and it was before the American Century Championship. They're like, hey, you want to go golf tomorrow or whatever? I'm like, absolutely. We have no connections at any golf course anywhere. I fucking don't talk to anybody. I didn't even know this place existed.
Okay, so I'm going to get you hooked up with some dudes. Because we played.
I'm gonna fuck it up, Chuck. I won't text.
We played crooked. I can't believe that. First of all, but we played crooked stick on Friday. Played Holiday Farms on Saturday. So BA and I played Friday with AC, and then Gary Aletto is the member out at Crooked Stick. We ran into AJ Foyt, the third or fourth, and I love AJ. He's such a good dude. But we had a great round out there. You know, playing a place you got a caddy. And he tells you, okay, this is the pace, a little bit downhill, right at this spot, and like all the putts go in. It's like, why would you ever play golf again?
Chuck, you're the best.
Bruce and I hobbled up and limped up, so they actually gave us carts, so we didn't have to walk that bit.
Smart. You played the game a little bit. It was a walking course. You guys played. I beat leukemia, and BA's like, I just beat life. Yeah. My Achilles. I've been living while my Achilles is blown. They're like, all right, you two old lazy fucks can get a cart. That's awesome. You played.
Got us hooked up at Pebble last spring as well. He limped up there. It's well documented about that Achilles. Next thing you know, we got both red flags on our carts, and we're all over. You had to walk the American Century deal, right?
For 28 miles, dude, 4 days straight. Never again. This asshole. We're going to a hard out here on Sirius XM. Chris Mad Dog Russo will have a much more riveting conversation about the sports world, and we'll be back in about 21 hours. We can't thank you enough for watching us on this hardworking Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. See you tomorrow. The show will be better than Hard Knocks tonight. All right, fucking nailed it, Chuck. I mean, just nailed it. Chris Mad Dog Russo is going to be pissed about that sign off. But I mean, yeah, 28 miles, dude. And it was, what was it, day 1, hole 6, where I looked at AJ. I was like, how come I wasn't told that this is a beating on your body? Like my feet, Chuck, I had blisters. They were broken. It was, I can't do it. I don't think I'll ever do it again. Have you ever walked a course?
Not recently.
It's
none that I can remember. Not like that. No way.
I
mean, Caves Valley out in Maryland. When I was at the Ravens, Steve Bisciotti was a member there, the owner, and he brought the whole staff out. Coach Harbaugh had us all out, and I believe we had to walk that one. Oh. And that was kind of hilly. I imagine like the Americans, and we had guys falling out all over the place. Coach Madison, our defensive coordinator, I mean, he wore long pants out, and he had sweat starting at his ankles all the way up his ass crack. I mean, I couldn't have finished the round.
Yeah, it was tough. It's tough, dude. And I have.
How many steps? You had a watch on, right? How many steps? Like you said, 28 miles?
Yeah, my phone told me 28 miles, so I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. It was on me the entire time.
5,280 feet per mile.
And you're going to run every single one of them until you learn how to not drop the ball, Petey. You're fucking killing me, Petey. I mean, one of the great, that's how we all know it from Remember the Titans, how many feet are in a mile. That you just quoted Denzel Washington in Remember the Titans right there. Absolutely. Yeah. I love it.
Great one.
Hole in one would have been a big deal. You ever get it? No, let's, I was close to getting a hole in one twice there. Three times almost at the American Century Championship.
Yeah, every single
You don't have
12th
one?
hole.
I don't have one, no. I don't. You?
I got one on my local course here in Boise. It was July 4th of 2014 or 15. It would have been there the year Arizona had the Super Bowl. I think it was Super Bowl 49. It's our par 4. It's 204-yard par 3. Or excuse me, the fourth hole, 204 yards. I was playing with Tina and my brother-in-law, Terry. And, of course, Tina's so cynical. I hit the ball, and Terry's like, that's a good shot, Chuck. I mean, that's got a chance. It's kind of going right at it. And she used some choice words. Oh, F no, that's in the back bunkers. There's no way. That's not even close, you know. Awesome. So we drive up to the hole. Where do I go looking for my ball?
Sand.
Back bunkers.
Yeah.
Right in this.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty much sure she's been right 99.9% of the time with everything I've ever done, said, whatever. So, yeah, but it was kind of cool.
What was it, a driver? That's fucked up. I should have
That's three hybrid.
That's rude of me. I know the boys
Who
had
said a 3 hybrid? Who said that?
Ty, was that what it was?
Yep. Good job, Ty.
How's your game? You're pretty good, huh? You're a player.
It's like a different guy shows up almost every shot, every day. Just if I could find some consistency.
That's golf.
Yeah.
That's golf. I have little to no respect for the physical athleticism of golfers, before American Century Championship. Oh, look at the fat doofus who can swing the club well. Them having to walk those courses and continue to perform, while golf is definitely two different sports too. From the driver and the clubs to the putting green. I mean, that's a completely different sport. And when you're dead tired at the end of the round, that's when it matters the fucking most. And it gets hard. It's like my respect for golfers after that American Century Championship, through the roof. Yeah. I will never, ever think anything negative about golfers going forward. I can see how they could do everything that they do on that course, and I can't do anything that they can do out there. It was a humbling experience, Chuck. Very humbling.
They're saying the same thing about, players in the National Football League, Major League. I mean, they train. That's their training. That's all they do. So their body adapts to all that walking and all that swinging and everything like that. So, can you and you have such a great appreciation for the run Tony Finau is on right now.
Yes, especially dropping his wife's phone in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
He's
remember when he hit that hole-in-one on the par 3 day at the Masters a couple years back?
Yes,
broke his ankle. Yeah.
Dislocated.
He went into a back pedal and his foot just went sideways and kind of almost came off his ankle, and then he just sat down and just threw it back into place, wrapped it up, and played 4 rounds. I mean,
those Jordan golf shoes look very, 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 very cool.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They look very, very awesome. I think they're clean. I'm very thankful they were sent to me. Very nice of the people that did that. I'm not sure you're supposed to walk in those.
No.
I think that is a cart golf shoe. I don't think it's a walk.
Style.
I don't think it's a shoe. So I've learned some things. And Chuck, you need to get in there, especially if you continue to kill it. The boys have some questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Ty.
Coach, if you're a guy like Matt Eberflus, how do you stay the course and kind of compartmentalize everything when in the NFL anymore, you basically have to win right away. It's not like they're going to give him, 3 to 4 years to kind of turn this thing around. And obviously he's not going to outwardly think it, but how do you stay the course when it kind of seems like you're not being given any chance to win and you're probably going to be fired within a few years?
It's pretty much just like, when I came to Indy, they're ranked. I was listening this morning. They're ranked 32 out of 32 teams. I mean, got a shit roster, got no players, new staff, new philosophies, new schemes, both sides of the ball, all those kind of things. Justin Fields going into his second year. Wow. His first year was a complete debacle. And so Pat will tell you.
Chuck, that's not how that Chuck, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is now.
You remember when we walked in that first team meeting and the whole thing was blown up, just like Chicago's blown up. All the players are gone. You get that job and a day later free agency starts and Jim and Ryan call you in there and say, hey, we got to start calling some guys. We're going to have to move on from some guys. And then you start listing all those guys.
Oh, yeah, we're cutting Peyton. We're cutting Jeff Saturday. We're cutting Gary Brackett. We're cutting Dean. We're cutting Charlie Johnson. We're cutting Joseph Adai. Hey, I'm getting texts from Dallas Clark. I'm getting texts from these guys. Hey, do not answer your phone. It's a debacle out here.
And then you got to walk into that team meeting and sell those guys on. I don't want to hear one person say, the R word, rebuild. That is not the case. I mean, you guys wouldn't be sitting in this room if you didn't have the talent. It's your opportunity now, and you got to take advantage of that opportunity. Oh, yeah. And Pat will tell you, blinders near, but you got to, just keep moving forward and control what you can control. Keep chopping wood. All the cliches we use, and because you can't get caught up in all that. You got what you got. And you got to go out, and it's your job as the coach is to motivate and inspire those guys and teach. And get everybody to buy in and get them on the same page, and because nobody wants to hear any of that shit.
I like the way you describe.
Because the honeymoon's already over.
Yes, as soon as the
you
game
don't
starts.
get any honeymoons anymore. There isn't no long 2-week vacations in Costa Rica or Hawaii or wherever. That stuff is over, and they know that. But you can't fall prey to the outside noise, the pundits, all of us talking on here about how bad you are. You got to stay focused on what you believe in and what you know works, and just stick to that and forget all the other stuff, because it don't matter.
Last week and this week, you talked about how you're selling. Like, that's how I appreciated you actually saying it. It's the first time I think I've ever heard a coach say, like, the truth about walking into that meeting room when every player in there knows the situation. Players know. And there's like a game, somebody's hurt, something's happening, we're about to get blown out maybe. That's the thought everywhere else. And a coach, you did a great job of every time coming in and shaping. It felt like you were it felt like you believed every single week what was going to happen and how it was going to go. And in those moments where a team can potentially fold or crack, that selling is saving an entire season potentially. Is that how you view it? Like, hey, I believe this. We got to get these guys to believe this somehow. And is that your message to all your assistant coaches too? Like, we don't need to hear anything but selling them on this shit, because there's already a lot of doubt if we start even thinking about this process.
No chinks in the armor, and it all starts with the head coach, and then all the Paul Reveres are the assistant coaches and your leaders in that locker room, and they got to be singing the same damn message. And because AJ, I'll tell you, one assistant coach, walks into the room and he gets on the board, and his body language about maybe the runs we've got in, running back coach or the wide receiver coach, here's the routes. And he sits there and he's like, hey, I know we discussed this the other day and we want to kind of do this, that, and the other, but coach, we've decided to run it this way, and that's how it's going to be. We'll just go with this way, And those players are going to see that, and they're going to read right through that and go, "Oh, this shit ain't going to work.
Yes,
we got no chance." So from the top down, you got to sell, like you said, you got to sell hope, and belief. We don't have any quarterbacks left. In 2015, we got none.
That was awesome.
We signed those two dudes, and we only had one way to go, and it's the way that we did it. And because you guys believed, and because of the culture and the assistant coaches and the job they did getting those guys ready, we went out and shocked the world and won a freaking football game with the Coney Island Thrasher and Ryan Lindley, who was driving Uber. We weren't supposed to be
4 days before this game.
Supposed to win the game.
Is that some of your best coaching you've done, Chuck?
It has to be. That's selling. That's some of the best fucking selling you've ever done in your entire life.
I think, like, AJ, to your point, your question, we had a couple 8-8 seasons where in 2015, when Luck went down after that Denver game, and then Matt Hasselbeck comes in, 40 years old, and thank God we had Matt. I mean, I love Matt and forever grateful for that dude. He is a real dude. And he comes in and goes, 5-3. Charlie Whitehurst, we bring in the building. We got all these pictures. Remember, we got all these pictures, AJ, of Charlie Whitehurst just getting murdered when he was at Tennessee by
over the building.
Captain Greeny. And I'm walking him down the halls, and I start to talk to him and turn him just so he can't see himself just getting murdered by all these great Colts players. And I'm trying to find, is there another way where there's not a Charlie Weiss, photo of him just getting sacked and murdered, get to the team room. But, those were the greatest, you're most proud of. I mean, to win, go 11-5 the first 3 years. And it's because of players. And those guys over at, like, the Nets, you guys were talking about Brooklyn Nets. I mean, we can ship KD off and play hardball, but it's, who said it, Switzer? It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. You got to have guys, So, I don't know why I brought that up.
But Whitehurst, dude, Charlie Whitehurst, he won some games for us, and then he blows his hamstring in Miami in the fourth quarter. You remember? He didn't.
Pat, the wheels came out of Matt, right, in like the third or fourth quarter at Miami.
Yes.
That shoulder finally went out, and Charlie's got to go in, and he's only been in 2 series. And he's trying to get out of harm's way, and he's scrambling to his left side, and he just throws the ball up for grabs and falls in one of our guys' arms, and he completes the thing. And then he's grabbing his hand. We get sending, Charlie, what's wrong? well, I think my hamstring is kind of torn. I think it's torn. I'm like, Charlie, is it torn or is it just sore? What is it? What do you want me to do, Charlie? He's like, I think I can go a couple more snaps, Coach. Let me give her a try. So he tried. I didn't give him a choice. We had no other buddy. Stephen Morris is the only other dude, and Pat that are left on the sideline.
Stephen wasn't dressed. I don't even think Stephen was dressed, right? I don't think he was dressed. I think there was actual conversation.
You're right. I don't think he might have been, because all those other guys were dead in the water and out, but.
There was actual conversation about me potentially kneeling at the end of this fucking game. Like, this actually happened. This is a real thing.
We got a couple, minutes left on the clock, and we're trying to take the air out of the game. We don't want to give it back to them and give them one last shot at this deal. And so it's third down, and here comes Charlie running for his life again. To the right. And he's running towards our sideline. And the worst thing he could do was, drop the ball or throw the ball and stop the clock. And the you can see the hamstring in the leg. He's just trying to
peg leg it. And
he just dives right near the sideline. Ball comes out of his hand, goes out of bounds, stops the clock. He's just laying there, And I said, Charlie, are you okay? And he goes, it is now torn, Coach. I think I'm done. And I'm thinking to myself, and Clyde's standing right next to me, and everybody else standing next to me, and in that locker, remember we end up going, we kick to them, they go down the field, they got 4 downs from the 5-yard line.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Remember, they got 4 downs, they got first and goal from the 4 or 5-yard line, and we get out of the first 3 downs, it's fourth and goal from the 5, and they botched the snap count.
And
some guy moves, or the center snaps, and nobody else moves, and T.Y. McGill runs everybody over and sacks the quarterback, and we win the game.
It was awesome. It was
the locker room scene was classic.
Whitehurst is a legend, by the way. Clipboard Jesus is how a lot of people know him. Him in the locker room on plane rides and at social gatherings. He's a fucking icon living. That guy was hysterical.
Massive respect for Charlie and him coming in there and doing what he did for us.
We were down, 6 quarterbacks at that point. It was like, Jesus. I mean, it felt like it was literally a new quarterback was just getting hurt somehow in devastating fashion every single game. It was like, all right, here we go. And then the Trashers and the
Coney Island
Thrashers and the Uber driver coming in for the last week. It was like, of course, this is what the season is. All right, last question here, Chuck. We can't thank you enough. Tone, go ahead, pal.
Chuck, how do you determine, or how are these coaches determining who's getting playing time in these preseason games, especially now that it's 3 games instead of 4?
Yeah, great question. So when it was 4, Tone, what we would do is generally play the starters, and maybe there were some that we held out a series or 2, 10, 12 plays, and then kind of see how those series went in the first game, and then everybody else finished that first one. And then we'd play about a quarter and a half in the second preseason game, and then we always treated the third preseason game kind of as the dry run for the regular season schedule, a normal Wednesday, a normal Thursday, normal Friday, play those frontline players, those starters, first and second quarter, go in and have like a regular season halftime adjustment deal, and then have those guys come out and open the third quarter. So my feeling would be and then nobody played in the fourth preseason game. It was like, they made us cut down.
Yeah,
they made
some
us cut
people
down
did.
The roster.
Yeah, some people
cut the roster down from 90 to, I think, 75, 25 players, which made absolutely no sense because you weren't going to play any of the starters. And so there's a handful of guys that got to play every snap of offense and defense and special teams.
Yeah, and block for punts, yeah.
What a shit show that was, especially for the special teams coaches. Oh, my God, what a nightmare. AJ, you remember those days.
Oh, AJ, yeah.
So now with only 3 preseason games, I'm sure they'll follow kind of the same model.
Chuck, you remember Jeff Fisher? We used to play the Titans the 4th preseason game for a couple years at least. He would have a thing where he would play his starters in the 4th preseason game. He would treat it like the 3rd, and they would play at least the first half, I think. I think a couple coaches may have tried that. I don't know what maybe feel like they get primed before the season starts, I guess.
Yeah, I don't you hate to lose anybody in that. You get to a certain point, you get through training camp, and then you get through 3 preseason games and your team is relatively healthy. You haven't lost anybody to a season-ending injury. We just didn't want. I didn't feel like we needed to roll the dice and risk putting somebody out there that we already evaluated, we already knew, and we still had some guys on the back end of that roster that needed one more game to, separate. Are we going this way or are we going that way with a certain position and a couple players, whatnot. So, and then you don't know if the team you're playing, if they did the same thing or you were going to put your guys out there, and then you got a bunch of AYOs that are trying to make the team going absolutely crazy and trying to take knees out and do whatever. So, yeah, everybody's. It's not to say that one way is better than the other. It's just everybody's got a different way of thinking, I guess.
What'd you say? AYO?
All you others.
What?
All you others.
You never heard that, Pat? That's a classic football term.
I've not, but I've been on the field with all the AYOs in that fourth playoff game, or the fourth preseason game. Punter position is the worst position to be in those fourth preseason games. If you're not going to get cut anywhere near on the chopping block and they don't have enough space, whatever the condition is for backup punter, backup kicker, or whatever, those fourth preseason games, Chuck, I'm catching that ball and getting that thing out as quick as possible. There's an insurance salesman, a McDonald's man, a Subway guy, blocking for me, and it's easier to block a punt than block for a punt. I was scared to death going into those fourth preseason games against the fucking Cincinnati Bengals. I made my Hard Knocks debut against the Cincinnati Bengals, backed up, punting. Somebody made the team. It actually said on Hard Knocks, made the team from blocking my punt. Forced me into a full fucking front flip on the block. Jesus. Bang, guy didn't block anybody. Obviously, had no idea what the fuck he's doing. Not an NFL guy, never played a punt team before. And ever since that moment, I was scared to death in those games. Like, can we please just get to the regular season? Feels like nowadays there's a lot less respect put on the reps in preseason games than it was maybe even just a couple years ago, Chuck. It really does feel that way. Justin Herbert has never played it down in preseason football, and he will not this year either. Nope. That's very different, isn't it? I think it's a whole new culture almost.
No, I mean, during practice, during training camp, you're going to get, especially as much of these joint practices that are now taking place across the league. Those are controlled environments. And so you can get your quarterback, we're talking about Herbert, you can get your quarterback plenty of work with, the first, second down, the mix downs, third down, 2 minute, all that kind of stuff against your own guys. And then if you go joint practice versus another team, hopefully a different defensive scheme. So you see a different defensive scheme, but you can pretty much be assured that you can get those guys out of there healthy, and so they're not going to risk, in a preseason game, losing the most important guy, the most important position, on the team. And then there's others, that are going to, like Trey Lance, got to play.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't played football in 100 years, it sounds like, listening to everybody. So he's got to play. He's got to get some burn. And, Deshaun Watson, with everything that he's going on, he hasn't played in a long, long time. And you just, again, as a play caller, too, you can put those guys out there and you can control a lot of it by handing the damn thing off, quick game, bubble screens, and take care of those guys and not put them in harm's way. And then certainly, when you start changing out your top 5 guys, your starting O-line, and you start to put in some of those AYOs, come on, you're done. You got to get that guy out of there.
Hey, Chuck.
It's like you on the punt team. They're sitting there with all those, all those guys, and there's, PP's a rookie. He has no idea, and he's yelling out, "Hey, you got an 8 box, and you got, hey, 8-man solid, rip, and you're just like, hey, snap this thing over, get this ball to me, and Midge is telling you, hey, small rectangle, Pat, let's put this thing over in this small rectangle, not down the middle of the field. And you're like, okay, I got you.
Hey, Tom, hey, why don't you shut the fuck up? All right, I'm just trying to get this thing out past the line. Hey, you keep towards the sideline, it's not open anything up yet. Hey, Tom, this thing gets off my foot, we're going to be pretty happy. All right, let's save the good ones for the game or regular season. Chuck, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Can't wait to see your reaction to Hard Knocks tonight and MCDC as a whole. And we appreciate you so much. Keep enjoying life.
Appreciate you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the People's Coach, Chuck Pagano.
Yeah,
right, let's get the hell out of here, huh? Oh, we didn't answer a single phone call. Been marketing for 3 hours.
Chuck's the man. He seems so happy.
He's living, dude. He's living.
For the first time, really?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, first time he hasn't coached in 40 years, right?
Yeah, well, the last couple years, I guess, have been that. But, yeah, he's in that honeymoon phase of living his life for the first time. And, Tina is awesome. His wife is – the story of their love is one that should be told. I'm not going to be the one to tell the story, but it's pretty epic how it all went down. Very Chuck Pagano-esque, the way it all – I mean, it is awesome, and she's a rock star, and so is Chuck. I'm very thankful for him. Let's go to a couple phone calls here on the 5Energy phone line. Go to 5Energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. Let's go to Ryan in New York. What's going on, Ryan?
Hey, what's going on, Pat? How's everybody doing? Keep it moving.
Perfect.
My question is for Boston Connor. I wanted to know why he's a mark and a fraud at Boston fan, because no real Boston fan is going to trade a young incoming star, Jaylen Brown, for Kevin Durant, who seems to can't play well with others and has the same mental toughness as Ben Simmons.
Oh, you fucking mark, dude.
I mean, that kid's a mark for not wanting to trade for Kevin Durant and not play well with others. I mean, the guy won 2, championships with, 3 other superstars on the team, so I'm not that worried about it. Feed me Kevin Durant, bitch.
You think Boston will embrace him? That's right, Pat.
I don't know if Connor echoes the sentiment of everybody in Boston. He gets attacked for this a lot. That guy is echoing the sentiment of a lot of the things I see on the internet being said about Connor. Keep the same energy about Jaylen Brown, you fraud, you stooge.
Fucking love Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's awesome. But, I mean, if you can get to Kevin Durant, you go get Kevin Durant.
It's kind of what Chuck was saying, and Chuck is obviously not a basketball guy. He's like, I don't know how many Kevin Durant are just growing on trees. Yeah. I mean, maybe another Steve Nash as a coach. Maybe another.
What's wrong with Steve Nash? What did he do wrong?
We don't know. We have no idea. This just came up out of nowhere, by the way, didn't it? I mean, for all
of us.
What
does Shams think?
Shams said that it had been boiling, and June 30th, is that whenever he said he wanted to be traded? They started looking into it, then it's just kind of all, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the first time he's been a head coach for Steve Nash, and obviously, when they formed the team, the expectation was they're going to win a few championships.
I mean, I'd assume Steve Nash and Marks are like, Kyrie couldn't play last year. What do you want? I mean, what do you want from us? Ben Simmons, I mean, the guy didn't play.
Yeah, it's crazy what Shams said, too. If Kevin Durant doesn't get hurt on that for those few weeks where James Harden requested a trade, what happens? Maybe he stays.
Let's go to Bobby in Jersey on the 5Energy phone line. Bobby, what do you have, bub?
Hey, Pat, looking athletic as ever. How we doing?
Keep it moving, Bob.
Just to piggyback off that other tri-state caller, I just want to ask that clown Connor. Hey, when are you going to change your name to Mark?
All right. I mean, can we get some original calls here? Jeez Louise.
I saw that one sitting right here. It was sitting right here in his Bobby jersey. When's Connor changing name to Mark? And I couldn't wait to get it on. I'm so sorry you've been dealing with this, but no. Don't be a fucking marker, Sam.
Hey, I'll continue to be a mark forever. I don't care.
Let's go. Last call here. Let's go. Do you want 1, 2, 3, or 4?
4.
3.
All right, perfect. 2, AJ. 3 and 4 has been selected. Ty, you want to say 1?
1. Let's go 1.
I'm happy we can all get on the same page. Let's go 2 for AJ.
Here we go.
True.
Let's go to Mike in Plum, Pennsylvania. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, how we doing, boys?
Hey! This guy's from Plum.
Mikey Dogs.
Mikey Dogs.
Is this Mikey Diggs?
No, he doesn't live in Plum.
Hey, boys, I wanted to thank you, Pat.
Not Mikey Diggs.
Hey, Pat, I wanted to thank you for the donation to Plum High School and to Nesbitt Flings. I have 2 daughters that will be attending there, so I just want to thank you very much for that. First off and foremost, and secondly, let's go Lurs.
All right.
Let's go Lurs.
All right, Mike. Thank you, pal. Let's do another phone call. I appreciate that. I'm lucky to do it. Go ahead. We're all Mustangs here, dude.
We're all Mustangs here.
Yeah,
we're all Mustangs.
No,
you're not.
You're not, dude.
I am Mustang.
Listen, if we were to say we're all Marks here, then you come hopping in.
We're all Mustangs, though.
Right? No, we're Mustangs.
Yes, are Mustangs.
You know, for a long time, not a lot of people wanted to be Plum Mustangs. So this is good news that a lot of people want to be Plum Mustangs. We're lucky to be Plum Mustangs.
You're goddamn
We don't
right.
have any Marks in Plum.
Well, you got one. It's me, because I bleed purple and gold, baby.
You're not able to claim 3 high schools, dude.
Nope,
All right.
I do.
I went to high school for 5 years. I got 3 of them.
I graduated from 3 schools.
Last phone call here. Let's go to, all right, this is going to suck. This guy's name is the Bills lawyer from a land unknown. Once again, some shows do have rehearsed and scripted callers. I'd like to let it be known. I have no idea who this is, what this is. Excited to hear the Bills lawyer from a land unknown here on the 5 Energy phone line. Bills lawyer, how you doing?
Doing all right, Pat. Hello, crew.
Hello, Bills lawyer.
From the land unknown.
All right.
Firstly, if David Mills is still listening, don't think you're going to be doing the Dougie if you're fortunate enough to meet up with the Buffalo Bills this year. If you think you're confused last season, well, bring it on, because we'll always take another game if you can't know.
Oh, you were so close.
Come on, guys.
Give him a shot. Bills lawyers. You're damn right. You're damn right, Bills lawyer.
Pat, I've come to bear some bad news for the whole league.
Brother.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills have an arsenal of weapons, and the only question is which team is willing to throw themselves under the raging stampede of starling bison beasts making their way towards Glendale, Arizona for Super Bowl 57.
Hell yeah!
Best call yet.
I mean, do I have to say it? That guy sucks. What are we talking about?
Whoa. It's because you're a Patriots.
If they want to fire at me, I'll fire right back.
He didn't fire you.
He's the Bills owner from a land unknown.
No, he's Bills lawyer.
Whatever.
He's their lead counsel.
Okay, even more so.
That had a little bit of like an old school Romy calling vibe, so I actually kind of appreciated that.
I enjoyed
guy.
it too. Yeah, you need not talk about the Bills lawyer. He's from a land unknown, dude.
Yeah. Buffalo. I vacation there. It is known.
He might not be from there. Just a big fan. Likes wings.
He almost had it.
All right.
But he flubbed and he was rated it.
Well, next time he needs to call in is the Bills accountant or something.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be a different character.
Buffalo Bill.
Or like Sal Massage it.
Can't be Buffalo Bill. What? Can't have Buffalo Bill come through. All right. We have some updates around the NFL. Rob Walton, has officially been voted in as owner of the Denver Broncos. It happened at a owners meeting in which the reporters outside said, anytime you hear an applause at one of these situations, it's like smoke coming out of the chimney when they're looking for a new pope. He has officially been voted in. His first press conference after officially becoming owner of the Denver Broncos, in which he is the wealthiest owner in all of NFL. His net worth is between 60 and 70 billion. Wow. The second wealthiest owner in the NFL is Tepper at 17 billion.
Yep. Okay.
So quite a vast difference in who's the wealthiest owner in the NFL all of a sudden. Stan Kroenke, who's in the Walton family, but not a direct descendant of Walton. He's rich. I think he's the second or third richest owner. And then Rob Walton comes in and says, I'm actually from the Walmart team. $60 billion. Yeah. I'm richer than everybody. Everybody can eat shit. Let's ride. Let's ride with Russell Wilson. His first move is a press conference, and he called Roger Goodell the wrong name. So this is how he leads off. But when you're worth 60 to 70 billion, you're a brand new owner, and you're the wealthiest guy in town.
Thank Roger Goodell.
All right. So just like the House Oversight Committee called him Roger Goodell.
Come on. Shine my shoes, Rod.
You work for me, never forget it. I'm also the richest guy. So let's never forget it. That's just a misspeak, obviously. Just like the House Oversight Committee said, Mr. Goodell, do you believe that this is a proper usage of taxpayer money? You talking to me? I don't think I'm the one that's answering it. Roger Goodell has taken his fair share of shots. Rob Walton called him the wrong name on day one of being an owner of the Broncos, obviously up there. But congrats to the Broncos getting us locked in and having the wealthiest owner. Cash over cap's a real thing, AJ. This is good news to have a wealthy owner in Denver.
This is big news for every player, every team, I feel like, in the league. But this is like the highest. Isn't this the most anyone's paid for a professional franchise?
Yes, and it's only going to go up. This team
any sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay, yeah, and now whenever an NFL team does come up for sale, which they don't that often, I know what the Chargers may be in limbo. It's going to be the next biggest one, right?
The Chargers spent a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
So, like, all the reports of a potential inter-family struggle and lawsuit seem to have kind of been swept aside, and they're spending money, which goes against everything that lawsuit was alleging. So we don't know if the Chargers are actually for sale, but if a team from one of these major markets, not that Denver isn't, Denver's great, one of these major market teams goes up for sale with all the money that these motherfuckers have that are at the top of the, hey, we are rich club, who knows what these prices could get to?
Yeah.
Honestly, who knows what these clubs could get to? The Denver Broncos have set the tone. Rob Walton's calling Roger Goodell by the wrong name. They got a lot of money. They got Russell Wilson and Sierra at training camp. good time to be a part of the Orange Crush or whatever their fan base is called over there.
Like if a big city team, like if let's say the Bears, they decide in a couple of years, like, hey, it's just not working out, and they sell before they go to Arlington Park. That's what, like $6 billion probably.
We thought the Broncos were going to go for a lot more, so I don't think I'm a
True.
good person. And who knows what inflation's going to do? But the numbers are only going this way for the NFL. Seems like a good business to get into. There's other businesses that very wealthy people get into that is like known you're going to lose money, but it's a good investment, a good thing to be a part of. The NFL is like great thing to be a part of, social clout, and it's going to make you a shit ton of money. It's like a triple whammy of perfection for these uber wealthy people. Rob Welton, it seems to be the newest one. Who knows who's coming in there next? AJ, hell of a day. We appreciate you, pal.
Great day. I do wonder if anyone has ever lost money with ownership of an NFL team.
I'd assume not.
No. It's only gone up from the jump, I feel like.
I'd assume not. Other leagues, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the money, the TV money just continues to grow. And it's, when does it stop?
It's never, college football, two different conferences just got over $300 million their games.
Yeah.
And no offense to any of these college conferences, you guys are awesome, but not holding a candle to NFL ratings at all.
Hey, do the other teams, the basketball teams and everything from USC and UCLA, they still have to fly cross country to play on a Tuesday night, don't they?
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Bro, I'm so happy we chatted about that today. That 9 a.m. kickoff in Bloomington in late November for that USC team.
I've had some of those. You come out for warm-ups, you're like, okay, is this a JV game? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in the stands. Not that IU might have a bunch this year. Who knows what they're going to do? But I'm just saying, one of those games where it's freezing cold, incredibly early, and there's not a lot of people in the stands. That's a game that can fuck your entire season. And USC and UCLA are going to have
multiple.
a lot of those, And I can't wait to watch. That's why people are paying a lot of money to get those rights. We appreciate you all so much. Boys, great show. In the back, great show. AJ, I appreciate you, pal. Big thanks to obviously Chuck Pagano, Davis, Dougie Mills, and Sham Charania for breaking some news on the show today. We'll be back tomorrow with some more bullshit, I see.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you then. Hammer,
Dahn.
There's a link right now in the comments to go over there. That show will be going live soon. They'll be giving out picks and bets and winners. We appreciate you for that. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.